Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it is we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. You see us as you want to see us, in the simplest terms, in the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain,
and an athlete,
and a basket case,
a princess,
and a criminal,
and a dad,
and a distance runner,
and a game writer,
and a hacker,
and a gamer.
Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, the Cheat Codes Podcast.
Woo! Ow!
We did it. All right. It's June 13th, everybody. Welcome to episode 167 of the Cheat Codes Podcast.
Oh, man. Thanks so much for joining us. We're happy you're here. The next hour is us drinking a few beers and going over our favorite topics from the past few weeks in video game tech and pop culture news.
We are coming to you from Saturday detention in a gigantic high school library in Sherman, Illinois. For real, that library was gigantic.
Just very big. A lot of dancing.
And by Saturday,
a lot of weed smoking in that library, if I recall. I'm just saying. Anyway.
And by Saturday, you mean Wednesday.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever day. So, my name is Alexandra Allison Reynolds Lucas.
And I'm Joe Brian Johnson Erskine. And we're here with Cheat Codes producer and editor, Mr. Joe Andrew Clark Arroyo.
Hello.
Cheat Codes core
and goodbye.
Cheat Codes core panelist, Mr. Nick John Bender Golish.
Hey, how's it going?
And we're welcoming back hacker, maker, and friend. Just friend. And friends.
his friend.
Yeah.
Dear friend.
Scotland Claire Standish Symons.
Hey.
I'm so happy to be here, yet so sad all at the same time.
It's a lot of all the emotions, right?
Yes.
Oh, dear. On this episode, we'll tape a nerd's butt cheeks together. It's such a memorable
Already done.
discussion to sort out the following.
First on the docket, this show will end where it began, in the shadow of E3. We're going to mention some of the emerging bits from the best of the press conferences and generally the stuff we're all looking forward to.
How about the Pez conferences?
All that. Also that.
And Netflix is getting into game streaming, and not the way you might think. Well, you probably are thinking it, and still, it's not good. So hopefully, the game trailer doesn't play every time you scroll over a title. Good luck.
I didn't think about that.
I did. For the lightning round, we're going to crawl through some of these air ducts to retrieve our dirt. We missed one. I missed one. We're going to talk. Oh, no, did we? No? Okay, fine. It's all right. I told you it was only going to get worse.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. For the lightning round.
I said we'll do it live.
God damn it!
We're going to crawl through some of these air ducts to retrieve our dirt weed to make sense of some of these bits.
Has Valve shed responsibility for which games get sold on Steam?
Meh.
Yes.
People who work on the things you like are appropriately more willing to tell you to fuck off if you're a hateful, trolling man baby. Better late than never. I guess before we get going with business as usual, I'm hoping you're all going to kind of try and chime in a little bit about, I guess, which is kind of still an elephant in the room. Like, we addressed it very briefly at the end of the last episode, but this is it. The last one.
We're all out of cheat codes.
We're all... Your subscription has expired.
My Game Genie isn't working
That's
anymore.
right.
Yeah, all the pages are like yellow, and you can't read anything anymore.
That's right.
Up, up, down, down.
Left, right, left, right.
The controller is sticky.
For unknown reasons.
Because I did, well, you wouldn't know it by the way it's going so far, but I did write the script. So I actually have like a prepared statement for this, but I am curious for you guys to chime in and share some memories or little anecdotes. It's time for nostalgia.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go first?
That shit is in these days, right?
Go first.
Go first.
Written
Sure.
statement
Kick it
first.
off. Kick
Okay,
it off.
all right. So here we are. It's the last episode. 5 years of well-documented, good-natured banter, drinking, and nerd shit. What started as the seed of an idea in a backyard in Anaheim Hills, California, while sharing a rather large jug-like container of whiskey. Between
cheaper
some,
there.
It's true. Between some aspiring game devs, became a little show that you're listening to. It was a way for us to lean all the way in to the industry we're now a part of. It let us blow off steam when we were in school, and it let us blow off steam after work now. It also turned out to be one hell of a networking device and a chance for us to expand our perspectives about games and everything that comes with that. It's been a hell of a ride, and I'm going to miss it, but all good things and all that. Very quickly, I'd like to cheers and thank a few people that either are here or are not. All of our significant others, because without their patience, none of this would have ever happened.
Yeah.
That's top of the bill. Chris Morris, Chico's partner and one hell of a networker. Bernard Hong, Chico's partner, and a dude who always had a valuable 2 cents to pitch in. Alexandra Lucas, who has brought a tempered and much needed voice to this show.
Tears are coming already. Thank you.
All of our past and current guests, notwithstanding, for taking a leap of faith in this little adventure and begrudgingly going along with our silly intros. And everyone out there that gave us a buck or a comment or a supportive nod, because that validation and that appreciation we felt from all of it is manna from heaven. It really is. Before we get on with things, one more time, thanks to everybody sitting at this table for their work, giving up rooms of houses to accommodate this damn thing, the time and the money, and the dead brain cells. I love all of you, and I can't tell you how grateful I am that we did this together. It's a hell of a thing, so thank you.
God damn it. Cheers again.
Cheers.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That was definitely like a best man speech. I missed the clinky.
Yeah, get all of them.
Gotta get the clinky. Oh.
Goodbye, whiskey.
I need more whiskey.
Listener, I really hope you have a drink in your hand right now.
You should be drinking.
We're gonna
join us
get
in
to
this.
that. We're gonna get to that.
Well, I should have read the script.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, why read the last one?
Yeah.
It's more of a surprise that way.
It is.
Aw.
I mean, we all knew this was going to happen, right? Like, after a written statement, no one wants to say the unprepared random thoughts.
I didn't know this
Just
was
keep
going to happen.
going. Keep going.
So elegantly worded, Mr. Erskine.
Not necessarily elegantly read.
Speak from the heart. It's okay.
We're all friends here. It's a safe space.
No, I
Is
did.
it? Is it a safe space? We're pretty judgy on
Give
the
it-
show.
give it a
I
few
feel like that's
minutes.
what we do is judge things.
It was E3.
Yep.
We all went down there as students on one of the last years that they allowed students to get into E3 as
It was the
developers.
last year.
We weren't
It
able
was
to
the
go
last
this year
year.
after that, yeah.
Yep. And we had a hell of a time while they were introducing brand new consoles.
It was. Oh yeah, that's right. It was the Xbox and the PS4 at the same
Summer
time.
children.
Yep. And then we kept my aunt and uncle awake, who were gracious enough to let us stay at their place while we drank whiskey in their backyard. And
I smoked like a pack of cigarettes. back
something
there,
around
I
like the
think, too,
third round of them having to like open the window and be like, guys,
Shut the fuck up.
So technically, your aunt and uncle are our first patrons.
Yeah, they are. They donated their
Unwittingly,
time
yeah.
and their
beds,
restless minutes,
Yeah.
rather. To
They were the first people I went up to at your wedding to say like, "Hey, remember me?"
Also, I'm sorry. yeah. We came up with our junior game idea in that backyard.
We did.
And at the same time, we were like, did we just start a podcast?
Pretty sure we just started a podcast.
match ball.
Aw.
And then I bought a bunch of gear, and then I sent it all back because it was all USB mics and shit.
Yeah, the
remember?
first mics we bought were USB, and if people know things about audio equipment, the big issue was the mic
can't
couldn't
differentiate.
synchronize their
Yeah,
clocks
exactly.
because they were all independent and they could do that stuff by themselves. So when they were recording, they couldn't get that information at the same time.
It's an excellent memory, Nick. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really good. It's technical. Because of the system clocks.
I hope you're all
for some
taking
reason,
notes.
I
This is
remember
really
that,
important. Yeah.
I mean, they were USB mics, so like they were self-contained computers.
What you're sharing is that you learned something from this show. In 5 years, you learned that USB mics can't be used together.
What
for
I
a
learned is
podcast.
USB mics can't be used together and because their system clocks can't synchronize.
I'm glad you got something out of it. Is all I could say.
I'm glad you were able to return it.
Already, we're like not even 10 minutes in. Okay.
No, things are fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. I will say, thanks so much. I think I started being a guest like a year before I jumped in for the assist. And I gotta, you guys probably know this already, but it was really instrumental in helping me like build confidence about public speaking. And and you also probably remember like the first few times I like wrote down my full responses word for word
better prepared than we were, frankly.
I do recall the notes and us being like astounded. Like the only guest we had that came in with a full notebook of like, I got this shit, and
Indeed.
I'm gonna upstage you guys with all this.
In my research, according to which I mean that's fine, but also just y'all assured me that it would get easier, and it totally did. But that was also because I had a chance to do this with such wonderful and welcoming people. So
We're all right.
thank you. Yeah. You're okay. Yeah. So. But yeah, thanks so much for the opportunity, and it's it was an honor to do the assist while you were out.
Did we?
We could not think of anybody better to do it.
Yeah. Did we ever tell you we knew right away? Like, I mean,
It was
the
like
first
a
show you were on, we're
no-brainer.
Like, you're coming back, and you may be a host at some
Yeah.
point.
It's like permanent panelist.
I don't know.
Permanent
Maybe
panelist?
maybe you didn't know that, but yeah, the very first episode that you were on as a guest, we were like, she's gonna host this.
Yeah, and I remember us reaching out to you, being like, "Hey, look, can you meet us at this Thai restaurant? It's not awkward at all. We got something we want to talk to you about." And you're like,
It's a proposition.
right, exactly.
Don't worry, I wasn't followed. Is what I said. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Should we cheers again? Let's
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
fucking
We're gonna do that
all
the time.
night long. We need some Foley artists up in here anyway,
Yeah.
so add some depth to the show, some sound effects.
In Scotland, as guests go, been on.
You probably are right up there with any guest that's been here multiple times. I think you might actually hold the record.
We've had some
Do
4 or
I
5
hold it?
timers. In
You've done at
terms
least
of
4,
like
right?
being
Oh
prolific.
yeah, easy.
But you're easily one of our favorites.
Aw.
You were, not every guest can. Actually, that's one of the big trials of the show is having a guest, and every once in a while they just don't gel with the format, or they don't, understand what we're trying to do, which is probably not being very serious at all most of the time, right?
Well, I am good at that.
And sometimes you have a guest that comes in and just immediately locks in and knows exactly what's happening and is capable of joining in, and you were definitely that. So it's
Aw.
been great.
Well, I'm gonna get sappy because it was an interesting kind of roundabout way that I got here, in the sense that Alexandria and I worked together for a little while. And we're like, hey, you're cool. Yeah, you're cool. We should hang out. And then that eventually happened when I think, were quitting that job or leaving that job. And then we eventually hung out, and then I get this message one day. It was like, "Hey, do you want to be on my podcast?" And I'm like, "What's going on?" Yeah, sure, sounds great. I'll be there. And I showed up, and it was like, "Well, I've been on some podcasts, I've been on some shows, and I'm like, this is somebody's house. Okay, this could be interesting or rapey, one of the two."
Either way, I'm having a good time.
Yeah, it's
Former more than the latter, but yeah,
it's gonna be fine.
More
And-
than?
well, I mean, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna let you finish.
I mean, was it Indigo Vaginas or something? What was our band?
No, Vagina Walkabout.
Vagina Walkabout. That's right.
Walkabout.
But I mean, I have to say, I was immediately welcomed in, given a beer, and sat down with my friends, and I honestly spent the next 2 hours having the time of my life. I cannot be more thankful, and I'm beyond honored to be on the last episode, and it just makes me super happy. I've made new friends, and I'm just happy to be here. I don't know what else to say.
We're
you.
super glad to have you.
Yep.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun. Shall we?
Cheers.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Oh God, we're doing it again.
Yes.
yes.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's always it's always something we have to explain to the guests at first. Like we get people who have been on podcasts before, and they're expecting some kind of interview format. They're
Indeed.
like, "Oh, I'm going to answer a bunch of questions, the
Right.
same questions I've been answering on this podcast and this podcast." And we just want them to summarize what they've been doing, and then we ask them their opinion on something else that's maybe related to them or maybe not.
It's a
And-
conversation. Yeah.
and we just
yeah.
talk to them about those things. I mean, and it's been a great experience, like seeing the guests open up that way in a different way, where they're expecting something, and then they get to just have a good time. And I don't know.
And there have been numerous times, or right after we hit record with some guests that have Skyped in, or even we're here in person, that they'd be like, okay, that was not what I was expecting at all, because I've done podcasts before, but I actually really loved that experience of just being able to be myself and talk about something other than like, what's my favorite color, what's my favorite, whatever.
I mean, my response to that first episode was like, that was fucking awesome. Let's do it again.
Perfect.
As far as like a general feedback, I think we got that from way more guess than we didn't. You know what I mean?
Every once in a while, it's not going to land. You know, like
Yeah, I think
people
it
aren't
just
gonna-
catches people off guard, and there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think we definitely tried to offer something that was out of the ordinary and more laid back, I guess, in a way. Like, just try to be conversational, have a fucking drink. Here's some prepared topics that you can read about ahead of time, and you can just, I don't know, offer an opinion. Those are free. You know what I mean? And that's easy. So
It took us a bit to get to that format. I mean,
yeah, it did. It definitely did.
This is a little bit before Alexandra joined us, but we had a tough. We didn't necessarily have a tough time, but we had an adventure
Experimental.
figuring out what our format was going to be, and it was interesting. If you listen to some of those earlier episodes, we're playing games.
It's
and
like 1
doing-
through 25.
Oh,
and
I
a little
did.
bit off and off. Oh, really?
Oh, I did. I
nice.
listened. I was curious after the fact. I was like, let's listen to episode 1.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Was that the Pokemon?
What an adventure.
Yes.
Twitch Plays Pokemon one.
Yeah.
No,
it was.
it was later.
I did hear the Pokemon one.
That one's early.
But we had like Jess Alves. She like showed up on that one.
Yeah.
Hanky
the
showed
first
up on that
episode was
one.
called "The Customer Isn't Always Right."
That's right. You told that great story about working at GameStop.
I guess I don't know why I remember the title of the first one, but I do. And yeah, our goal actually we told ourselves when we started it, we're like formats should be organic. So we're gonna try one, and we're gonna say that we need to have it figured out by 25 and have it perfected by 50. That was the goal.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we did like 25 was the one I think where we actually started introducing like the themed intros. Like we just start like I just wanted the excuse to like recite my favorite lines from movies.
Thriller, right?
Yeah, Thriller was the
Thriller
first one.
was the first theme,
And it was a Halloween episode,
quote.
I think. Yeah.
Yes.
It was the very first one you did. You
Slutty
did the
pumpkin.
You did
Well,
the
with
thing.
Nate Hitchcock.
I think you achieved your goal because when I got here, it just felt polished. Polished. Like I've been in studios before, and they're not this polished.
Thank
So
you. That's-
please give yourself a round of applause
That's
because
great.
it is. I mean, even your setup. I don't know people at home can't see this, but the setup in here is incredibly polished compared to a lot of people's
So a lot of
professional
cables.
setups.
More cables means more professional.
This room's going to get real empty later tonight. I'm just saying.
Well, you see, we got all these nice colored cables. One goes from one mic to a different spot. And we
Everyone, take a microphone home. Take a table home. Please get the shit out of here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the raid after this is going to be great.
I have friends, people who you guys know probably. Cameron, he plays Stellaris with us
Yep.
on Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays, yep.
He's like, you guys just have like a great format. Like, I just love the way you guys just do your show. Like, it's not complicated. It's straight to the point, and it's just it just makes sense. It flows, and it's a natural conversation. And I get compliments about our podcast, and I'm kind of proud of our formats.
I do too. We managed to get some heavy hitters on this show from time to time. I mean, all of us included in that.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
yes.
No.
Yeah, but it has been. It's been this cool thing where we got like kind of these weird insights on the industry, and I still don't understand how we got some of these people on the show. But I think it helped me get a job. Simply standing in front of a mic for a long time, we ended up doing. I did VO just like you did.
Yeah.
On a demo for a game that is currently the thing that I'm working on professionally. And
That's
so
so
are you,
awesome.
and so are you, and
yeah, we had you two in our closet.
That closet, right
Closet,
there.
right over there.
that was my
Closet is
job
tiny.
audition
With this
like
equipment,
Yeah.
Weren't
recording
you
things for our game.
like a Southern preacher? Was that your?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
your
Can you
one?
give us a little flavor?
Oh,
That's
give us
other-
the line.
Yeah,
Give us
come on.
one of the lines that we had to cut out.
Jesus Christ on the cross.
Yeah, that was one.
Yeah, that was definitely one of them.
That was one.
The blood of the lamb. You know, that kind of shit. So
And what you didn't see at home was the eyes,
yeah,
like doll's eyes.
They were kind of terrifying. weren't
I
they?
felt a blood vessel
Yeah,
burst. Just
you
now.
were looking
Eyes,
right
like
through me.
I did. I think at one point I got in the closet and then I looked up the Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, you
Was
recited
like
the whole thing.
25-17, and I just
Yeah.
like yelled that into a mic. I was like super out of breath and like beat red. I felt like Chris Farley before he died, probably. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Like
you did the whole thing. You did the whole quote.
Meanwhile, Mr. Marcus Leto himself, one of the co-creator of the Halo series, was sitting out in here laughing his ass off while listening to you recite this shit.
and that's how you get employment.
To which, and I've said this on the show
Listen up,
before,
kids.
my favorite tweet of all time was being able to say, "I've got one of the co-creators of Halo in my closet right now," because he had to do some VO lines for the prototype also.
I did
Master
too. They
Chief,
were
goddamn!
Yeah.
I had to do some lines too. You guys remember how good mine were?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hit us with some of those
Yeah,
lines?
I think
drop
there's
some
some
bars, dude.
spoilers or
No,
something.
you were inside of some cage or something.
Yeah, it's like, help! Can you help me? Get me out of here.
It's like I'm really there. I'm transported. I'm transported. My mind. I can see the cage and I can see the person there. One more time for us. I'm gonna close my eyes.
Help! Get me out of here.
I can feel the stress.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that got us the publisher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Clinched it.
At least a nomination.
No, I think so. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Doing Rick and Morty with Cliff Blazinski was
That's a good one.
was a good one.
So cool.
Can you give us a little Rick and Morty?
I don't know, Rick. That's not good. It was much
That
better
was
than
not good at all.
go back.
He did Morty,
I
and it
heard
was
it, yeah.
good.
There was a few. The Stellar J guys, James Id.
James Id's great. Stellar J guys were fantastic.
We had Keith.
Yeah, Liker, who
we
we're working
had-
with now.
People we're working with now are
Jack-
on our podcast.
Jack Manhorn.
Yeah.
Like, we met him through Chris working at BoxCat, and now he works
Now
with
he
us at
works
V1.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool random ass stories that way. Like,
Did we have Rachel on also? Thompson?
She's never been on the show. No.
no,
Oh, okay.
unfortunately, that would have been
She's
good
tried to
ones.
get. She's
Guess we
requested.
got to do another one.
Yeah.
It's ideas for spin-off shows.
Yeah.
She's given us some suggestions for some people to get on the show. I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We could just do the VO hour. Just bad VO.
Help! I'm trapped.
Help.
Help me! Get me out of here. I'm dying.
Speaking of getting out here, let's
Yeah.
talk about what we are sipping on the final
No more.
episode.
No more self-indulgence. Come
Oh,
on.
come on.
It's 20 minutes in.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's Chewbacca.
Ewoks?
Remember Cliffy B?
Go back and find the episode. It was good. I did a good Morty, I promise.
I'm trying to find a good Rick in me somewhere. I'm like, listen, Morty.
Yeah, listen, Morty.
Oh, that was good.
That was good.
Yeah. What?
I can't do the burp. I can't do
Yeah.
it.
It's
Not possible.
You need to be drunk, Justin Roiland or Dan Harmon at the time to do it correctly. But we're on our way. So
I'm working on it.
yeah,
Maybe by
exactly.
the end.
exactly. As suburban high school kids in the 80s were wont to do. I don't know what kids in high school do these days. They probably just play Fortnite.
They play Fortnite.
You get fake IDs, and you get cheap beer, and you get drunk. If you're of a legal age in a safe, non-driving, or heavy machinery operating situation, we encourage you to join us. A LaCroix, or a LaCroix, in substitute.
Like, what?
If you're
Just not the coconut one because
That's
it tastes
right.
like sunscreen.
they all taste like
peach
soap
pear,
water to me.
Peach pear peach.
If you want a soda
That one's
water
good.
in substitute, if you're a teetotaler, that's also fine. But we're drinking some La Fin du Monde, which translates to the end of cheat codes.
The final Du Monte.
That's right. Made by the folks at Unibrow, and we are drinking
Unibrew.
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 Fine.
I wish they were Unibrow.
They're Canadian.
They
That didn't even have any bearing on the pronunciation.
No.
I just felt like saying that.
They're sorry, regardless.
They're sorry.
This is
Sorry.
okay.
Let's come a boot.
110% put the puck in the net, Terry. We're drinking to you, listeners, to all of you for
Trudeau.
5 years who have ducked in and out in whatever quantity you have consumed this show. This is a cheers to you. So, tip your glass if you got one.
Hope you have one.
Or if you're doing the traditional podcasting, you're probably driving, so maybe
Yeah,
don't. But
whatever.
Especially if you're driving while you're podcasting.
Special cheers to my friend Trevor, who listens to our podcast basically all the time.
Yo, shout out,
religiously.
Trevor.
So thanks, Trevor.
for all the love and all the listens, for the laughs, everybody, cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
Better be drinking, Trevor.
Yeah, don't let me down, dude.
I like that this is a focused drinking episode.
Yeah.
Very focused. 24 minutes in.
We need
Honestly-
lots of pictures of. Should we explain at least the smorgasbord?
Yeah, I'm
that's
going
going
to take a picture.
Yeah.
You named one beer, but there's much more going on.
So yeah, we were theming the Le Fin du Monde from Unibrew, we got a 6-pack of Bodhi Zaffa from the local brewery around here, at least
Georgetown,
Georgetown, South Seattle.
the ones that do Manny's. Yeah.
Yep. We got a bottle of Bogle Vineyards,
Little Pinot Noir.
little Pinot Noir.
This is getting out of control already.
We've got a 6-pack of Tropic Haze from the folks at Silver City Brewery.
Pretty good.
And a fresh bottle of Sazerac Rye, which is
pretty tasty.
What? Oh, can I have that, by the way?
Yeah, sure, man.
Thanks. Did I miss anything?
So we've got. So
I'm almost sad we didn't have another canned wine though, or a box wine.
No, sorry, I did not bring canned Sofia Coppola wine this
fair
time.
enough.
Sorry.
Although I will say that we're getting close to the drinking level that happens on a friend of mine's podcast down in LA. It's called Army of Drunks.
Oh, that's great.
I feel like I need to be a guest on that podcast.
I think we should be a guest on that podcast. So, Buck, if you're listening, I love you.
And
Buck, I think I might love you too.
We have many people who will love you.
And there you go.
Hell, we all love you, Buck.
can Ellie be on the podcast?
Ellie. Let's talk about Ellie.
Yeah, can we? Because I never knew about
So
it.
Ellie was a clay sculpture made by
Andy Baker.
Andy Baker, former guest of the show, who now works down at Respawn, presumably on the new Star Wars title, I imagine, or Titanfall 8. That's fine.
Savage, bro.
I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm sorry.
I understand that, but yeah.
That's okay.
But she threw in the trash when we were all at school, and we rescued it from the trash can.
Yeah.
And it's been like the unofficial
It
Cheat
has
Codes
sat
mascot.
on that fucking thing
So
ever since.
It's Ellie? Ellie the
Ellie the
packy.
elephant.
Ellie the
yeah.
The
elephant.
packy derp.
It's a packy derp.
Yeah,
derp is
Ellie's
good.
super derpy.
It's like the ears were made with a leaf.
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah.
the ears are my favorite part
Yeah,
of the
totally.
lines.
It's
yeah.
got that detail. It's those eyes, though.
It's definitely the eyes.
It's like a Muppet.
I thought it was a weird bong or something at first.
It should be.
I wish.
Or it it
Certainly
can be.
Yeah.
It's got a little hole in the eye that could be the carb, I guess. But you
Oh
know,
my god, why
What?
is there a hole there?
because if you don't poke holes in
They could
like
crack.
It'll
solid
crack in the kiln. Yeah.
in solid clay pieces, if there's any air bubbles or something, it'll just explode.
Oh, well, that should have been your,
That's what I learned through Cheat Codes podcast.
when you said a gamer, it should have been.
A potter.
An aspiring potter. There you go.
Well, you're one of the few students who actually took DigiPen up on their offer
And
that
ceramics.
to return to school for the next year or two to take to
do a little
use
bit
the
of ceramics or
facilities.
something? Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And you went and you did ceramics on your own.
It's
free
one of
time.
the, I don't know. I enjoy ceramics. It's like one of those few like relaxing things you can just do. I did. it
All
in
I
high
can
school and
see in
that's
my
fun.
head right now is just the scene from Ghost. That's all I can see.
All I can see is the scene from Community.
That is what assholes think.
Well, par for the course then.
I think of the one from Community, the scene from Community with Annie.
with
like she's she's kneading the clay on the wheel, and it's just like
Working it.
It's pretty aggressive.
Is that going to be the
It
image
was.
for this?
It might.
Okay.
Tune in to find out.
Nothing like the final episode.
That's Jesus. We're half an hour in already, buddy.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
All right, friendos, for the last time, here we go.
Number one.
It's all happening in LA right now as E3 2018 is still underway this week. We've come through the news, the press conferences, and all of the hype to just chat about the stuff we're excited about and some of the more interesting things to come out of the expo as a whole. Despite some of the major players pulling out of the show, at least from the show floor presence standpoint, they all brought their biggest guns. Oh, there's tons to mention. Of course, we can just dive in because there's a lot. And I really want to hear everyone's take on, what has you psyched, not so psyched, feelings about games from this year.
so.
Sorry, can I just throw this out there
Yeah,
really
go ahead.
quickly? What I liked as a kickoff to this whole thing is that, like, pre-E3, before all the press conferences, it's like every dev and their mother got on Twitter and was just like, hey, zero negativity. We're all going to, like, not shit on each other's work. We're going to be super positive and roll that out. And I'm not a huge Twitter person, but this felt like a much louder kind of sirens call in a way that, like, kind of was a preemptive shield against the shitticism that was about to come later from the trolls and everybody else, which I really appreciated, because going into it with that kind of mindset was fucking great. And just like, I'm going to let this wave wash over me and I'm just going to accept it and see what's up. And it felt super cool. So
I don't know. I've got like three major things that I saw that you're not really going to expect.
Dive in.
Well, maybe. Okay, so the first one's pretty obvious. I mean, like, there was a lot of, like, go fuck yourself from game developers on the inclusivity of women and LGBT characters and all
we're
that
going to
good
get
stuff.
to it. We're going to get
Oh,
to
yeah.
it.
No, I love that shit. But what's really got me is the fucking dude in the Crash Bandicoot suit who was dancing around on stage. It was excessive and wonderful, and it reminded me of an early E3.
This is like a Left Shark.
Yeah,
sort of
it was
deal.
so much. It was like a Left Shark got a promotion to star player, and then just fucking rocked it. But really, the star of the show for me was the Sonic the Hedgehog toaster, brought to you
fuck, I saw
by
that. Yeah.
fucking Sonic, which I think I'm going to order.
Nice.
Why wouldn't you?
Is it one of the branding toasters?
Oh yeah, here
Like
I got
the Cylon toast?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I got. There you go.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Do you think Left Shark puts I was Left Shark on his resume?
Well, I mean, I would. It's certainly a
It'd
good
be
talking
silly
point.
not to. It'd be silly not to.
It might be under hobbies at this point. But
Why is there a lemon on that plate of toast?
I always have lemon with toast. I don't.
that
Maybe
the-
it's a Canadian thing.
Oh.
as in, you actually like squeeze lemon on the
Oh
toast?
yeah, you get a little lemon on there and a little honey.
It's
delicious.
I follow
Well, I
the
can give you
honey.
that.
The lemon is still don't. Is it with the tea that you drink with the toast? Is that?
No, I sometimes I just eat the lemon though too.
I feel like my comfortable cultural norms are being challenged right now, but I'm going to allow it.
You know, we're really close to Canada.
We are.
You got me into twist the lemons in my espresso, and
Yes.
I have since like loved that, and
Yes.
also get the weirdest, responses.
Oh, yeah, that's
at restaurants
delicious.
when I ask.
West Coast, it's a total fucking Italian gangster thing to do the Italian
the twist the lemon in your
the lemon,
espresso, yeah.
the lemon, literally like a twist, like a rind, like around the
Yeah.
rim of an espresso. I've asked for it at every coffee shop I've ever been out here. People look at me like I'm fucking
Yeah,
nuts.
that's what I've been getting too.
Yeah.
It's great.
They're like, what?
And I kind of
it's
like
really
it now.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a test. Like
really,
just,
really
just
good.
put the fucking lemon in there. Why you gotta
Just
why you
give
gotta
me
make a
the
thing out of it?
goddamn rind, please. Yeah.
Open your coat. I don't think you want to make too big of a thing about this.
I'm gonna have to call my 2-3 guys to come through here and teach you a lesson, eh?
He makes
just have a
voices. It's like
conversation.
he's like totally the guy.
It puts
All
the
those
lemon on the
voices.
skin.
Oh my god.
Or else it gets the rind again.
That's right. Or I'll just pour boiling hot espresso on you. It's fine.
Okay. All right. So this is what I learned from. This is what I learned
Well,
from cheat codes. Thank you.
Yeah, well, there was a serious thing. I mean, I gave in and I pre-ordered an Atari, the new Atari.
The VCS, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm super hyped for that.
Is it not a scam? I feel like I've seen like a bunch of articles being like it's a scam.
I don't give a shit.
No, fair enough. Like just lean all the way into that nostalgia. I can't blame you. I really want a Super Nintendo, like the Redux thing, the little.
You don't want the PlayStation Classic that's Sony now?
I'll get to that eventually. Yeah.
A lot of good games on PlayStation.
Oh,
Did
you'll
you
have
guys-
to let us know how that is.
Did you guys see the bit
Yes.
that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is crowdsourcing some of their content creation?
Yeah.
And the backlash around, like, are you paying these people? Has been like...
It's like the spec work problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the backlash is it's real. It's justified. It's ridiculous. It's literally do work, all of it, give it to us, and if we like the ones we like, we pay, which is exactly the problem of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the same is true in like just the rest of the tech world too. When you have sponsored hackathons,
Right.
I mean, if they're in company, it's one thing, but when they include external people and players, it ends up being a way to just kind of harvest some free ideas without actually having to go through the process of hiring people.
That's right.
real shit, but. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. And this is the same thing. This
Yep.
is exactly the same thing.
It is.
But Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, who's
who's the
he's a
it was
sweet,
his
kind guy.
Twitter where he tweeted that out, and the backlash was insane.
Well, he's just like, we
After
forgot
that.
to mention that we
But
will
he
be
can
paying
sing.
people. I know. And he runs around twisting hallways really, really well. But
I thought that was Doctor Strange.
that was
Well,
Inception.
he runs that website that's all about like, hey,
Hit
artists,
record, yep.
contribute. Like you do get paid, as far as I know, or it's very like upfront. It's like, hi, this is volunteer or something. Like I'm pretty sure it's all paid though. I flipped through it just a little bit.
He's been pretty vocal.
but this is specific to the Beyond Good
The
and
Ubisoft
Evil.
stuff.
Yeah, this is that's
Yeah.
that's why it's unfortunate to hear. I
Yeah,
guess because it seems like he does value
Like he
it.
knows better, and maybe
Yeah.
it's just sort of a weird. It could even be an industry miscommunication situation. Like you never know.
Yeah, like I've seen some stuff about like websites saying one thing and then he's saying another.
Yeah.
and even he said after the press the press conference bit, like he was like, oh, we didn't talk about how people are going to get paid, and we felt like idiots for like dropping that point. But he's like, he went on to like do a bunch of threads saying like this is how it's going to work, sort of. You know what I mean? Like here's the budget and here's what it is, but it's still that spec
Still
work
is what it
problem.
is,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But that being said, I mean, I do have to give a shout out to one of the best pre-rendered trailers I've
my
seen in
God.
probably
Which
in my
one?
lifetime. The
For
Beyond
the-
Good and Evil.
The new one, man.
So they've had
wow.
2 now since they did it last time.
Last
and then,
E3 and
yeah, and the one this. I mean,
I didn't watch
it's
it,
one of those
but-
things where like this is the second time I've seen a trailer by them and went, I don't even care about the game.
I just wanna
Not
watch
in a
this
bad
movie,
way.
dude. I
Just
just
like,
wanna watch
can
this
you
movie.
please make the fucking movie because it's fucking insanely good.
Agreed.
And I showed it to my wife as well, and she's been going super like sci-fi nerd, probably more than me
a
now
big
in the
fucking
last year.
nerd.
Yeah, and she watched that thing and was like captivated by every second of it, and was
Yeah.
like, I want to see whatever this movie is that they make.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not going to be a movie. It should be a movie. But it's not.
What's unfortunate if you think about it, that's probably like outsourced to like some other company.
Sure, I mean,
Yeah.
like there's.
I mean, it's Ubisoft
zero,
too, though. Like they got
zero
resources.
in-game.
They
You
got
know
the
what I mean?
resources to outsource that shit.
Yeah, it's definitely like just this amazing pre-rendered piece. And I actually do think that I should have done due diligence researching who was behind it before talking about it on the show.
That's fair.
Because
But that's-
whoever did it fucking deserves it.
That's how we do on cheat codes.
Some kind of medal.
We're cursory research only.
Give him a medal.
Well, I'm doing the research right now, which
Okay.
you can see as I'm
Yeah,
scrolling
okay.
through the latest
I'll
posts.
just keep talking. Let me drag this out. Just
Please do.
Well,
So-
all right. I'm gonna keep like rolling out
E3?
E3 shit so we can
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
this.
Yeah,
but, it's the year of the ninja / samurai, right? I mean, between Ghost of Tsushima, Neo 2, and the new From Software game, Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just ninjas and samurai, which I am
I don't have a
very
problem with that.
fucking on board for. Just saying.
Hey,
personally.
not pirates,
Well,
right?
there are pirates
There's
though.
some, but that's not the dominating
But it's
thing,
not
right?
the
And
dominating-
not,
it's not zombies. Right.
There we go. Exactly.
Well, there are
Days
some.
Gone,
There are
right?
some.
Days Gone. It's
Some,
still
but,
there,
like,
but it's not quite
again,
as
it's not
prominent.
every
yeah.
game.
It's not Zombie Fest.
yes, exactly.
We're good here.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
We went to an E3 where there was a zombie booth with people pretending to be zombies.
We
Oh,
went
no,
to an
that still
E3
happens.
with
First
a,
E3 we went to.
No, that's still happening today.
Probably. I
we
guess
went to an
so.
E3 that had the Sea of Thieves shanty band.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
that
that
was
was
great.
after.
That's
yeah,
kind of
that was
awesome,
cool. That was
actually.
pretty good.
Yeah, Joe.
It is finally kind of being a little bit of the reverse, though. You're not seeing a ton of games that are just movie games
Yeah.
that are like based on movies, where it's more like games that get kind of film franchises,
Right.
which is kind of nice. I enjoy that. I
That's
want
how you build a
original
business,
titles,
right? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I want original titles, and I want to kind of watch some pre-digested garbage.
Which I would say the original stuff seemed to outnumber the sequel stuff, but I mean I haven't done the numbers, but it did feel that way. So, but I mean, look at Bethesda for instance, who it felt like
Just
this,
owned it.
Well, owned it, but in a way that felt. It's like we're never going to give another press conference, so we have to debut something from every IP we own. And I'm Todd Howard, and I'm going to wear a cool brown leather jacket.
I only want to do this once.
Right, so it's like new Skyrim, new Fallout, new Prey, new Doom,
crazy.
new fucking Wolfenstein,
And brand-
also Starfield, the property that we've been teasing for 25 fucking years. Just saying, like they
And if any,
they like literally just emptied the coffers. They're like, I'm spent. I'm like here it all is, and we'll see in a couple years when all this is ready to come out. And okay, cool. But I have no idea where I'm going to get the time to play all that shit. So
all the Bethesda stuff, I guess. Yeah. The
Just
only-
wait till it's on sale on Steam.
Yeah, the only thing I'd be interested in watching is the Starfield stuff because it's a new IP, and I've never been into Bethesda games as much. I've never played them as much, but I understand their popularity, and I get where people are coming from and their excitement.
Same here, but
Yeah.
that's still that makes the announcement
Yeah.
actually just insane though. Like just the prolific nature of
Yeah.
some of the biggest titles. Like just oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. Meanwhile, like Square Enix is like, here's a bunch of trailers.
Well, they gave you
here's some
they gave you
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3. Anybody excited about that?
oh yes,
I'll
I
tell
watched
you,
the trailer and I didn't give a shit.
I've never
Like-
played a Kingdom Hearts game,
Yeah.
but I'm excited because all those movie franchises that are in like Disney stuff and the Pixar stuff that's in there, like that's going to be a fucking really cool bridge to get my son into because we're all about that stuff right now.
I agree. I think that could be really awesome and a great entry point for somebody else. But as a fan of the old like the old stuff, the PS2 where there were like I think it was Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 came out on that. I just don't give a shit anymore about it. Like it was fun, but like the story's fucking whack. I think I talked to you about this a little bit last night, and it's a completely insane franchise right now. But it's cool, like because you get to see all these different IPs in it, and it's a lot of fun. But it's been 20 years or something since since I
Almost
played a
just
Kingdom Hearts
feels
game.
that way.
Just
at
put
least.
it out.
Yeah.
At this point.
But you get like edgy Mickey.
Edgy Mickey, yeah. they have that
Can we-
already. It's the what is it?
What's Edgy Mickey?
I don't know. Mickey
He's
Mouse
always
just
in
takes,
that. He's in that
takes
black
his shirt
coat
off or
now
something.
or something.
Still waiting for Warren Spector to make that game.
There's just like
What was
a hint of abs or something.
I like it.
He beats Mickey.
I want to talk. I want to talk Devolver Digital
Oh yeah.
Still,
because they
still
did
the
it
best
again.
goddamn press
They
conference.
did it again.
It's so good.
2 years in a row, and they show up with a press conference
What?
that's just like you can't. It's belly laughter for
Is it?
as far as you can go.
Is it a real press conference?
Yeah, it is.
They do. They still like premiere games.
Yeah, but is there an audience?
No,
No, it's all pre-taped.
No,
It's all pre-done.
they pre-tape it, and
Is
I
it
mean,
a press conference?
they're. It's not like they're pretending like it is.
Is there an audience? Is it a press conference?
Can you give us the brief
I don't, like-
synopsis?
Sure.
It's cool. Like, it's
Have you seen? Did you see Devolver last year?
Yeah, little bits of it. Yeah.
So, I mean, they hired an actor who. What's her name?
Elizabeth
Shit, someone
something,
look
I
it
forget, but it's
Someone's
she
gotta
is
look that up.
fucking great.
She pretends to be like.
Spoiler: she died.
A southern
this time.
creature.
No,
She dies like she died the first time. I think she blows her own head off or something. Like
Her head explodes
It's
the
just-
first time, and
yeah.
this time she's like shot. to
She's
death.
shot, yeah, in a RoboCop style. Like they basically they just lean into saying, okay, we're gonna bring someone out, and she's gonna pretend to be like a head of Devolver, and then come out there and just spit profanities left and right, and also just insult the audience, the average audience of games. Like they just lean super hard into loot boxes, and now they announced loot box coin, and
But you can't spend on anything, but you can pay us for it.
yeah, like they just lean super hard. There's blood, there's gore, there's profanity, there's comedy. The audience shots are all completely canned and staged, where audience members are like sharing bananas. They're like
And
eating
they're-
bananas. I don't know.
Was there blockchain though?
I think they actually did mention blockchain.
I'm pretty sure they did too. Like when they're talking about their loot,
Coin.
their
They
loot
talk about
box
the
coin, where it's like
monetization.
you can't
You can't
blockchain
blockchain
it, you
it.
can't verify it. Like it's this thing that sits on your desk and you do nothing with it. It's great. Like and it's available for sale right now. And it literally, if you go to the Devolver website,
You can actually
buy it. Yeah, they made them.
You can
There's
actually
like
buy the
3D
box
printed
coin.
like wafers. You know what I mean? It's silly.
I mean, Devolver has an interesting history with E3 involving them, like not like
when we went.
Yeah, being one of the first companies to do the off-site booth thing because they couldn't get a booth inside, and then having E3 get pissed about it, and then even like
Remember
they tried to block it with semi trucks,
all the unloading
So
trucks. They
yeah.
parked it all around it. Yeah,
And so they
We-
flew a giant fucking
weather balloon.
weather balloon to
With their logo
go
on it,
above
yeah.
the trucks so that people would see where
We'll be
their
able to
booth
still see
was.
it, yeah.
It was just, it's been an awesome thing. Their press conferences are great, whether you call them that or not.
I don't
and
care.
Whatever they are.
It's
you should see them.
It's
They're
humbling,
hilarious.
and I mean, anybody that likes SNL or that kind of like
Yeah, it's that.
stuff is it's literally just taking the piss out of our own industry
Oh, Jesus.
and hoping that like you can find some humor in the ridiculousness of it all.
Yeah, so it's cacophony-esque.
Absolutely.
It's got that whole feel.
Yeah.
It's 100% just satire on the last year and all the worst
It's
bits about it.
it's like a little breath of relief under the deluge of all the news and graphics and everything. It's just
But
it's
then,
nice.
to be fair, they are an indie publisher, and they actually do show their trailers for their games in the midst of this conference. And one of the ones that stood out to me the most was My Friend Pedro.
Sure.
Blood, Bullets, and Bananas.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
the
is the subtitle.
The John Wick ballet shooter is what
Oh
I'm
my
calling
God.
it. It's a 2D or not 2D, but it's like
It's-
pseudo 3D.
Basically, think all the slow motion scenes from Deadpool where he's doing flips and shit like that, but you're controlling that character.
Also,
It's like
John Wick.
shooting-
John Wick is what I was thinking of, but yeah.
Yeah, and it looks great because it's like there's the trailer's like classical music while he's doing.
He's just like literally leaping and flipping over cars and up and like down platforms and just like
It looks
honestly,
like dance.
The animation is I don't
Amazing.
know. It's procedural, I imagine, to a certain degree, but like it's awesome. And you just feel like a rock star. You feel like you're in a John Woo movie. Probably.
It reminds me of the success of the Boner game, the game where you put butts and assholes.
Hang on.
Oh, I remember that one. We played that one at the Devolver time. Yeah, you are literally like a cock and balls, and you basically just kind of like move around. It's top down.
You're
you
cock
move
and
around.
balls, and you have a butthole.
Yeah, you have
in
a
your
butt,
balls.
a butthole in
Excuse
your
me.
balls.
It's called genital jousting.
Genital
Oh, wait,
jousting.
it's the same guy who did the tea room. Is it the same?
Yeah,
I don't think it is.
I don't know if it's the same guy, but
Okay.
it's
in the
Did
same
Devolver help with those?
vein, I guess.
Well, I mean, they published. They published.
I was like, do I? Okay.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Last show.
Well, that was one of our E3s. Was we went to the Devolver booth and we played the General.
We played
Jousting,
General Jousting.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
where
wow.
you try to get
it
you try to
is.
get your dick in the asshole
Of the other
balls.
Of the other
Yeah,
balls.
the
The
balls
asshole,
have the
I feel like
asshole.
this is a South Park moment right now.
It's-
like fuck the asshole.
We're all dicks and assholes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Star Wall. I mean, not whatever's happening
We're
there.
just all. I know this is great radio.
For us.
Okay, cock and balls are playing soccer, like just for by the way. No, not anymore.
They've really gone a long way since we played it, haven't they?
Oh, that's fucking awesome. Actually.
Honestly, it was a lot of fun to play. It was a lot of
It
fun.
looks kind of hard.
Yes.
No, they're.
I'm sorry.
they're
Did you say it looks kind of hard?
Yeah.
Is that what you
It
said?
looks a
Yeah.
little hard to play.
Oh God. Okay.
That's great.
It was
It's a special game.
It was a good couch co-op party game.
Yeah.
You know, you do that kind of thing at your
Do you
bridal shower, for instance.
hang out with your bros.
Instead of the penis straws and the penis cake, you play a little General Jousting.
Yeah,
You
the
know what I mean?
competition is stiff, and
You just
got
hang out
more,
with your
I'm sure.
bros and
Yeah.
you just play with your cocks.
That's it.
That is.
Throw them out there.
hang out.
Cocks, not Glocks. Right? I don't know.
This
the same.
This perfect public service announcement is brought to you by Dick Coolidge.
Help me, help.
Buns, not guns. There you go.
Helping
Cocks,
build
not
that
buns.
competitive cock chain.
Pugs, not drugs.
Cock chain.
You got it. The cock chain.
Okay, so anything else at E3 that I was very psyched about the kiss.
Oh,
Guys,
dude! Honestly, the only good animation for a video game kiss of all time.
Yeah.
That
Like-
was
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
It was pretty great. Everything from like the initial kiss moment and like seeing the like raised eyebrows and like the surprise of the moment. I'm like, you
I
don't
heard about
capture
this.
that very
I
well.
haven't seen
usually.
anything
Yeah.
on it yet.
Well,
Okay,
who
so
wants to
it's
describe it?
Last of
Yeah.
Us 2, right? And Ellie is kind of grown up a little bit and kissing a
She's got
wonderful
tattoos and
lady.
shit. She plays guitar.
Does she know if she sacrifices her body to science, they could save the human race?
I
Well,
don't know the
you have to
deets.
play the game.
I don't
know
want
the-
to spoil it for you, but you should play the first game. And find out how that ends. But she's clearly still alive, so there you go.
Well, I mean, she figures that out maybe in this game. Right?
Maybe.
I have no idea.
They-
Nolan North in it?
I did probably.
Is Peter North in it?
All right, that's genital
No,
jousting.
he was General Jousting. Yeah. Sure.
But I saw photos of like the motion capture they did of it.
Yeah, it was. They were posted a lot of that. It was actually really cool to see all
didn't
that,
see that.
nice behind the scene because it was rad. They had some good mocap stuff, and they had a lot of good composite stuff that they were showing along with it. And it was just cool to see their process. It just kind of enriched it. It was rad.
So that means there was just some genuinely good acting happening.
Oh,
that
totally.
led to that final piece.
Like the photo they showed of the mocap scene was just like you could honestly feel kind of like the awkwardness, but the excitement of it. Like it was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent in a lot of different places to produce that final image, and yeah, people you don't realize that kind of thing, but everything from the acting to the production value to the people who are importing that shit into the engine and like getting it.
That
Yeah.
pipeline.
Yeah.
That pipeline, bro.
That pipeline.
Well, because I heard about it and I was kind of clicking through, and then I found that mocap, the mocap stuff and the other stuff, and I was like, wow, it actually looks like a genuine kind of heartfelt first high school kind of kiss kind of thing.
Go back and watch even like the Last of Us 1 stuff. Of
Oh, yeah, no, it was super good.
With like Troy Baker and all them like we're like running around doing
That
like the
was-
opera stuff like out off
it's
the
amazing.
cuff. Like it's
Did you ever see
yeah.
the opera stuff that they did?
A
They broke
while
scene
ago,
and-
yeah, a while
it's
ago, but
great.
it's not fresh in my head.
It was a moment where they were testing whether Troy Baker would just like go with whatever they.
It was the end. It was the end scene, and
Yeah.
whether he was going to get like really emotional
Right.
or whatever.
So he was doing it, and then out of nowhere, they had already told the actor that he
female-
was working with,
Right. The
that,
female actor, yeah.
that she would break out in song the next line to see what he would do, and they turned it out of nowhere. He reacted by singing back,
Yeah.
and they just
he
went.
improv,
and it was an
perfectly.
improv
It was-
musical,
yeah.
and you're like, what the fuck?
This
That's
is
amazing.
Yeah. Like, there's talent on another level when you do that kind of shit.
It blew my mind though. Like I look like watching that scene. Like first of all, super cool snapshot, like piece of writing and intro to this kind of like new iteration of Last of Us. But I could not get over the fact like kisses in video games have routinely sucked
Yeah,
forever. And I was like, I had that clearest kind of thought where like, that was a good kiss. Like that was a real good kiss.
Like you're saying,
It
it
felt
felt
real.
real.
I didn't get to see it. I'm so sad.
It's good.
I'm
You should
sorry.
watch it.
Check the Twitters. It's
Yeah,
good.
it's all
I don't want to check the
Well,
Twitters. I just checked
Google's
Twitters
it.
and I just
Like-
saw more depressing stuff.
Oh.
Well, don't do that.
Oh, no.
Speaking to your first statement about this topic, about how there's a general sense of like, just shut up, just don't be negative and
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
And regarding the kiss, I mean, admittedly, like I have a 14,000 person block list, and like, I'm like clearly my Twitter skews towards like, you know, pretty progressive people. But I swear for like everyone, like, well, do we really need more lesbians in games though? Person, it was constant like,
where the fuck
stop,
are they?
Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, so people, it seems at least that people are being called out, and not necessarily in like a degrading way, you know, the way that trolls do their thing, but more just like, hey, just don't be ignorant. Thanks.
Well, and that's the thing. I was like, I didn't read it as like a lesbian kiss scene. It was more like, holy shit, that animation is fucking immaculate. Like,
Beautiful
do you know what I mean?
romantic
Like,
kiss.
it's
Great.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just read it as like that was an awesome intimate scene. I don't.
yeah, it worked really, really well.
Right. Like we don't even think of
Yeah,
right.
think
Like
of
I
it
don't
like that.
separate it.
Yeah.
It's
By the
love
way,
is
Vagina
love.
Walkabout new album out this fall. I just want to
Got the record that you need.
What's the album called again?
Vagina monologue.
We need the notes.
Yeah,
We
you
wrote a
I
whole
know we
track
did.
list.
I put you on the spot.
Sorry.
You'll have to go back to that episode.
All right.
Anyway, last minute
E3 stuff.
absolute E3 talk about before we.
Oh,
Talk
what's
about
up
before
with
we walk
the
about?
Death Stranding? Film?
I haven't. That's the only trailer I didn't watch.
Okay, that's okay.
I just figured I was like, oh, it's Kojima. It's gonna be weird.
And Norman Reedus up in there,
But
which I like to see.
Fair enough, but you know what's really fucked up about that is that there is a Twitter thread from Kojima of him wearing a like rubber mask that is
yes.
Norman Reedus.
Oh,
Yes, I saw
And
that.
he's walking around in the spacesuit as Norman. Like Norman, obviously, Norman's a busy guy.
Weird.
He's got the dead to walk or walk to dead.
He's got other strandings.
Or
going
Saints
on.
to Boondock.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The point is that there's a mask of Norman Reedus in Kojima's vicinity
so
that he
weird.
wears and does mocap as. So
Oh, no.
when you see Norman Reedus in Death Stranding, think it's either him or it's Kojima.
Do you think Reedus has a Kojima mask?
Oh no.
I hope so. I hope so. So
Do you
like
think he takes it home at night?
that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
in his dark day, like the kids are asleep. I'm gonna stand in my walk-in closet in my full body mirror and I'm just gonna wear this Kojima mask.
I think a lot of actors are weirder than we think and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I mean,
I think you're right.
that's how you get roles, I guess. But anyway,
Hey, sometimes you practice in closets, yelling like a preacher.
Yeah. Oh, brought up nice.
I am not afraid to admit that I have practiced certain lines for the show in a mirror.
or
Okay,
a
you're a
closet.
profesh.
Not really.
I think you're a profesh.
Listen to
I
the
do that.
beginning
I
of
do
this
that shit in the
episode.
car all the time, though.
Yeah, same.
Like, just as a random side note, this is totally non sequitur, but I'm totally enthralled with the language in The Expanse. I don't know if you guys
So
watch any of that.
Yeah, I've read the book.
I just finished
Oh
season
yeah, the
two.
books. The books are
Fucking
James A. Corey's books are super fun.
The show's
Um,
great.
But in the show, they totally take on the characteristics of the Belters is beyond amazing. Like,
What did they do in the
It's
show?
fantastic.
I mean, I haven't read the books, and it's the two guys that run
They
the
get it
writers'
right.
table, right? That are
Yeah.
James A. Corey, so to speak. It's
yeah,
two
no,
dudes.
The Expanse writers
It's
room.
James and
Like,
Corey.
if you don't have a chance to follow them. They're pretty awesome people. But
okay.
yeah.
You are
Beltalada.
You are Beltalada.
Okay, so quick thing.
We're good at this. We're really good at
This
this.
is-
No, we're drinking. Everything's not.
It's fine. I am Chico's mama hen. It is fine. No, I was gonna say just
Thank God.
Death Stranding. I love you. I love y'all. So Death Stranding. All I was gonna say is I'm not really sure what it's about or what it is. So I would love to hear your thoughts once you watch it. But I don't think it knows either yet. But it looks nice. And also I was wondering. We'll wrap this up unless you have other things to say. If y'all saw the 50 over 50
Yeah.
game
Yo,
devs
shout
list
out
that
to
came out.
Sonia Michaels.
Sonia Michaels,
Yes.
what up?
Yeah.
I did see it.
Yeah, so gameadvocacy.org, which I believe Kate Edwards is championing, decided to combat ageism in the game industry, which of course it's rampant, unfortunately. they decided to put 50 stellar game devs over the age of 50 list together.
Which I kind of love because of the...
What a great list.
There is like an ageism thing. Like
Yes.
it's kind of on the margin here, but
Super
it's
different.
a thing. And more and more people that were important to us as we grew up in games, who were making games back in the day, are getting to that point, and it's important to kind of... I don't know, just recognize that shit.
Well,
It's all ages, all equal opportunity kind of thing. You know.
Well, this is a super big topic that was brought up at a conference I was just speaking at. Is someone got up and said, "Hey, no one talks about the diversity of age," and I was like, "No, well, ageism is a reality.
Yeah.
We completely shame people for being older in the industries of tech and gaming and all that good stuff. We're like, oh, you have no value. You're not fresh with the ideas," and it's like,
you can't work 80
"Oh,
hours a week. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's complete and utter bullshit because we're going to be in that bucket soon. But
And we wonder why we're running in circles and making the same mistakes, and
totally.
maybe because we're not consulting wiser, more experienced people. Maybe.
absolutely.
Yeah. Like you youngins, you're just making these mistakes for the nth time. We're making for the nth
Until-
times
well,
10th time.
Fuck you, you're going to burn
your
out
code
in
might
2
be
years
better,
anyway.
but-
Yeah, exactly. Bye, Felicia.
Well, yeah, so we want to
Hashtag
mention...
I'm doing it better. Whatever.
Well, our DigiPen instructor and a friend of the show, Sonia Michaels, is on the list, which is great.
I actually never had the opportunity to get to know her. I went to DigiPen and I never had a class with her. And when she came on the show, I was not around.
Well,
But what she will do is find that I visited her LinkedIn account today by accident because I went to the game advocacy list. And then I clicked on her name, and it took me directly to her LinkedIn page, which means she knows that I looked at it. So
Listen, delete your
But
LinkedIn
now-
accounts and stop using it.
yeah, I know.
LinkedIn, I want everyone to know.
But shout out to Sonia Michaels because
Absolutely.
Yeah.
50 out of
Congrats.
50. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
yeah. Anyone else have thoughts on E3 or...
Good God,
Things?
no.
No, we
Can
should
we
move
move
All
on?
right,
should
here we
fucking move on,
go.
okay.
Here we go.
Number 2.
There's a conversation going around, whispers, if you will, about game streaming and a myriad of entities that are looking to dip their toes into what could very well be the future of gaming on any platform. Some, like Sony, already are. This conversation is getting louder all of the time. Just like the noise outside.
Yeah.
What is that noise?
It's game streaming. It's coming.
Oh, shit.
It's my stomach.
It's the hearse to carry away our
consoles?
our show.
Oh, that too. Bring out your
told
dead.
them to come
Bring
an
out
hour
your deads.
later.
Bring out your deads.
Okay, all right. Here we go.
Netflix announced a cool arrangement with Telltale Games today that promises the sort of foray into game streaming for Netflix. They're working on a Stranger Things project, but will also be bringing the episodic Minecraft : story mode title to the platform. So not exactly what one would think when they think of game streaming on a large scale, but considering Netflix's experiments with interactive storytelling, I don't know if you guys have seen some of the kid shows where
The Puss in Books or something one? I
the-
played that one.
there's like
That's
a
cute.
Dino Bots thing where like after an episode you can pick how the episode ends.
It's
and
a
then
choose your own adventure?
kind of, yeah. Yeah, it's something actually we've been having fun with at home with my kids. It's kind of cool. But considering Netflix's experiments with interactive storytelling that we just talked about, it might be an initial fit, at least from the Telltale people. So, here we go.
Yeah.
What's the question?
We're not in the lightning round.
Okay, so who has...
Why don't you talk to me
seen-
about streaming gaming,
I like-
as opposed to consoles and or PC?
Tell us about your feelings.
I think you have something what you want to say real quick.
I was just going to ask who has actually sampled what they have on there already in this genre.
I'm raising my hand. You can't see it, but I'm raising my hand.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So how did you feel about it? So what
streaming?
did you play? Or...
No, not streaming.
No. The Netflix interactive.
Oh,
experience.
I didn't play the Netflix thing.
Oh, okay.
But
I have, yeah.
okay, then go Joe.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's not like the super. It is choose your own adventure in theory, but it's like here's a binary choice between does the monster that attacked the last episode win or lose?
Is it Goosebumps? Is it Goosebumps?
No, it's like a
Choose Your Own
Dino
Adventure?
Bots thing. It's not. It's not.
No, I mean I'm relating it to the Goosebumps Choose Your Own Adventure. It's like
Just choose your own adventure for a show.
It's
okay, so
it's a
Turn to
diluted
page
version of-
58.
Yeah, kind of. But it's like they give you an opportunity, but they will
I roll
inject
a
you
die?
into the same episode, that probably, just like a dialogue tree, for instance, no matter what you choose, has a kind of predetermined outcome to just simplify things. But it might give you like a 30-second animation that says like, oh, instead of getting kicked over the ledge, you grabbed on at the last second and whatever. But if you pick the other one,
just
you
like
got kicked off the
Emily
ledge
Until Dawn,
and then flew back up with jet boots or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's like Until Dawn.
It's
or,
just like when you said
Gameflies.
she grabbed they grabbed the ledge at the last moment. I thought Emily and from Until Dawn, where we tried to kill her and she just wouldn't die.
Yeah, she was a character that in that game was designed for you to hate. And when you made every choice to try and kill her, they found a way to keep her alive.
Which is kind of brilliant.
Just to fuck with you constantly.
The fact they spent the time to do that is awesome.
You're like, grab her real quick.
One,
it's like, nope. And she caught herself.
Oh, she found a way. Like, because like the first time we played it, we were like, we hate this girl, but we were trying to like win. And then the second time, we were like, we hate her, and we're gonna do everything we can to make decisions to kill her. And you can't. You can't fucking kill her.
I don't know. No, go ahead.
Sorry.
All I was gonna say is, in the spirit of, the Netflix stuff that Erskine and I have seen, it's not like you get a little animation and it kind of goes where it's supposed to go anyway, but it's interactive, so you feel like you're doing something. Yeah. And I think Telltale's a really good fit then, right? Because like some things make a difference, but kind of like the general story's going where it's going.
Right.
So that's actually, I'm curious to see what they do.
I like it's a taste of agency.
Yeah.
So exactly. I'm gonna drop that real fine art degree shit right now.
Drop it.
So for me, the perspective of this one isn't really bad. I think it's kind of fun. Yeah. And from it's obvious it gets more creatives, more jobs. So that's awesome. But from the perspective of like, let's go ahead and experience, what this medium could be, you start to introduce the constraint. And the constraint is that you have Netflix choice of like buttons of 1 or 2 to kind of choose to tell the tale. And so if you can use the rules that you're given and the constraints that you're given to tell a compelling story that's kind of interesting, not the obvious choose your own adventure, like, what will Sally do? A, go this way, B, go this way. It could be more subtle and be more interesting. Like, would you like to watch the new episode now, or would you like to delay it for 5 minutes or 5 hours so you can't see it until later? So you could do things to totally toy with it and play with it. So I think it's a fun experiment. So I don't have any problems with it. I think we're going to see more media like this, but let's see. That's my fine art degree analysis.
It's a reasonable way for Netflix to dip their toes into this kind of streaming and interactive
Safely.
thing. When there's already been enough conjecture about them spending too much money on just making a new series every 3 hours.
I don't care. I don't
that you have to watch an 8.
Yeah,
I hope wholeheartedly that the line between video games and general entertainment for TV or film is blurred. The more it's blurred, the better we can bring communities that don't understand games into the fold. Because any game is just the difference between a film with choice and not. Yeah. Where the choice can balloon so far that game mechanics are much more complicated than that. But if I want to make it sound simple, then that's pretty much what it is. And it would be nice, to just blur that line.
I just want the content of reality TV to go away and be minimized. Yes. I mean, it won't ever go away because people really enjoy that stuff. But the more content that people can engage with a little bit more, kind of triggers and fires on those same neurons. And so the less of that garbage I can see, I just can't do it.
I 1000% agree with what you just said, but I still want British Baking Show.
Oh, well, fuck yeah. British Baking Show is a shit.
I'm just saying, it's so positive. It's reality TV, but it's so positive.
Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman doing that new fucking show about making shit.
I can't wait for
that. Give me a break here. I am please. There's a difference.
Deliver it. Yeah. More. Is there a reason that Keeping Up with the Kardashians needs to be on for 12 years?
I don't even know what a fucking Kardashian is.
Let's just say stop. I'm not keeping up.
No. Hold on. I'm sorry. I need a judge gavel. The Kardashians have been on for 12 years?
I believe that is what I read recently.
Order in the court.
Yes.
You asked for a gavel.
Order. All I can say to that is poop it a scoop.
Scoop it a poop.
I'm purred happily, and I have replaced my gavel
with.
You need the parliamentary version.
Misplaced.
Order.
One thing I am worried about, though, just jumping in, is Telltale did lay off a quarter of its staff in November.
Yeah, that was kind of
Yes,
odd.
they did, yeah.
So moving into this, I worry for their writers a little bit, or just their staff in general. If they're going to be, I hope they are in a place where they can like hire the number of people they need to make it work.
I hopefully everybody gets their jobs back.
Positive wish for
right?
the future.
I mean,
Can we
that'd be
stop
nice.
being so
Yeah.
fucking cutthroat and stop laying people off every 5 minutes that you don't see something happen in the next 30 days?
But I have to make money.
Shut the fuck up. I'm so fucking tired of it. There's enough people making money. Can we stop this, and can we spend some more time making actual good stuff and content and not fire everybody just because their shit's not working?
Yep.
I have had a lot of booze, so real talk is coming out now. This is real talk, Scotland.
No, that's the point of this episode.
Scotland, we talked about this like
Leave it all on the
a little
fucking
bit
table,
ago.
everybody.
We did talk about this.
But I was just going to pop it up again, especially because we have folks here working at one of the said studios I'm going to mention. We are seeing a trend, right, of like 15, 20-year veterans leaving, their whatever big name studio and starting their own smaller one where they like retain people long term. Like the idea is to
That's
invest
rad.
in people.
That's certainly the idea.
Yeah, is the hope. Yeah, like Beandog, I think, is another one like that.
With the outside, anybody on the label that we're on, Private Division,
Private Division, yeah.
which is a subsidiary of Take Two, you'll see like with the Outsiders, and not to kind of foreshadow what we're about to talk about, but I watched one of the co-founders of that studio today on Twitter literally just like spend his day talk as a former Battlefield 2 and what's the good Battlefield? Sorry, that's a horrible thing to say, but
Bad Company 2.
Bad Company 2, one of the designers on that, who founded this company on the Outsiders, like sit there and fucking throw down with everybody that was about to say that Battlefield 5 shouldn't have women, let alone prosthetics, all that shit, all the stuff we talked about 2 weeks ago, right? And he sat there and did all that stuff, and I honestly felt exhausted for him for doing that. But between these small studios and all these, like Patrice Desolé, the guy who literally created Assassin's Creed out of thin air with some substantial help, he's got a studio on this label. Marcus, obviously, with V1. It's an incredible thing to be a part of and watch this kind of like little boutique kind of stable of studios with like high level
Private Division. You have to put one shoulder in front of the other when you say it.
Pinkies out, motherfucker. Yeah.
One of the big
But it's cool. It's fucking super cool. So, at the same
I
time,
drink this way. It's fine.
Yes!
Pinky.
as you should.
Nick, what are you going to say?
I was going to say, like, one of the things that came out was Microsoft picked up the Hellblade people.
Five
totally.
studios, including Ninja Theory.
Yeah. And I was just curious because, I mean, that's kind of counter to the whole, like, indie devs reaching out, just getting publishers and doing their own thing. Microsoft isn't necessarily a publisher. They buy the companies and then they do what they want with them in a way.
That seems to be the track record up till now.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens after the fact.
It's a change for them to bring indie studios like into the fold and give them that sort of like freedom where they're not worried about being canceled tomorrow.
I would like to see that.
And
from
that's
Microsoft.
actually the way that Ninja Theory talked about it.
Yep.
It's like it's nice to know that we can finally get into a situation where we're not afraid for tomorrow or the next week, and we might actually get some like creative freedom in the midst of that.
Yeah, people can actually do different things, and there's not as much punishment, and then you have like
There's
long-term
there's
vets
security.
in there
There's
who it's
security
like,
in
oh,
it.
big name person,
Yeah.
I trust that you're gonna do a good job.
Or have the experience to at least steer a project in the right direction for us to vet appropriately, right? So, it's an interesting thing to see this kind of triple I / double A, whatever the fuck you want to call
I
it.
think people have figured out that
Batteries.
Call of Duty comes out every year and Battlefield comes out every year, and it's just like let's figure out something
Let's
new.
get some Pedro and some
But
Bloods and bananas.
there's a certain like cards on the table where like even Call of Duty was like, you know what, fuck it, we're done with single player campaigns, and Battlefield's like, we will do a single player campaign, but we're fucking all in on the battle royale shit. So. Like, playing to trends makes sense. That's a business decision. Like, I'm not going to sit here and shit on people for fucking making smart decisions that seem smart right now. But
There's a space for all of it.
right, exactly. Like, I do not forget for a second that indie gaming or like high talent people in small doses are still leading the charge for innovation and new mechanics and everything else that makes sense that everything is going to keep pushing this whole industry forward. You know what I mean?
It's few and far between that the leader is actually creating the trend.
Yeah,
and that's a truth. That's the truth. You can take that home. You can put it in a lunch sack, and you can take it with you.
You can fucking graft that shit into your chest.
When you're a leader, it's easy to see that you're leading the charge. But when you're a trendsetter, it's hard to see that you're setting the trend. Yeah. And so the reflection upon the two, one thinks it's the other, and it's actually never. They are never the same thing, but they can become each other. It's very odd.
That's great.
It's a bit of a mind fuck, but it's pretty fascinating.
Breaking my head a little bit.
No, it's not. It's not knowing that what you're doing means something, but it's still believing in it enough to keep going.
Yes.
This is a mightily loaded topic, I guess. Do you believe Nintendo is a trendsetter in a way, in the sense that we're talking about it? Because Nintendo's been on the forefront.
No, this is a valid
the forefront
question.
of this year.
Question.
The Switch has been tremendously successful in a sense, but we have been an advocate against Nintendo.
I think routinely,
and
if
Nintendo,
you look back through our
before
catalog,
the
yes.
Switch, I do
Yes.
feel like they had a lot of problems, and they are starting to address those problems. Not all of them, but
No, I think what's happening and what we're seeing with Nintendo is that we were wrong. So,
but here's
B, sorry, really quickly, is that what they've done is flip their own script, and everything that they were adamant about is that like, oh, we're not going to ever give our shit up to IP, our IP to movie strips. Well, they're doing it now. Now we're doing partnerships with fucking Ubisoft where it's Mario Rabbids or it's we're going to have fucking Link in Soul Calibur game or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean?
Every character that's ever been in any Smash game is going to be in the new Smash game or something like that. We're going to get all the IPs to be with us. Yeah.
The new Smash thing literally is going to be all of the characters ever.
Yeah.
In the new Smash game.
I still feel like they're still singularly focused, though. Like the reason I enjoy Nintendo is like I love the Switch. I think it's a good design platform.
Great. It's fucking
clean.
Great.
It runs well. It's the UI is really well designed. But the thing is, for me, it's a Zelda machine. I really only play Zelda on it, and I know for a lot of people it's a singular experience. Like it's only a Smash Brothers machine, or it's only a Mario machine, and that singular focus. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a dependable thing. When I see that thing, I know I can pick up Zelda and I can have a great experience, and it's not a waste of time, and it's really enjoyable and it's enriching. But it's just that it seems to be singular focused.
I just want to point out that it's 167 episodes for Nick to say I was wrong about Nintendo.
I didn't say
Also,
Wow.
goodbye.
Put you on the spot.
Goodbye.
Did I say I was wrong? I said cheat codes is wrong. I have my own opinions.
Fair enough. To Scotland, really quickly, I agree with you that I bought a Switch specifically for Zelda.
Same.
Yeah.
But then I played Mario Odyssey, and then I played Mario Kart with my son. And
Yeah.
then I played Darkest Dungeon, which is the most fuck you game of all time.
I haven't played that one yet.
Dude. I had my fuck you moment with it like very recently, but I also
Still fresh.
But I played Golf Story,
Yeah.
all the way through, and I like the Switch has been the thing, especially as a dad or a husband or a person that has my parents visiting us all summer to help us watch my 1-year-old daughter, where it's like I'm gonna step into this bathroom and
I'm gonna get that shrine.
I'm gonna fucking get that shrine. It started with Zelda. And now it's way more. It's that mobile capability with a fucking sizable screen. I even bought the Pro Controller. I went all out. I did.
I know it was kind of funny. The Switch, I've never actually played it on like a television or anything bigger. I've only played it as a handheld, and I super fucking enjoy it.
85% of my playtime on Switch is handheld. But the 50% on a big screen.
That's not how.
80% of the time I did it.
No, I said
50% I did it.
Wait, sorry. I thought I said 85% and 15%.
Oh, I heard 50.
Oh,
so
sorry.
Netflix, if you're listening,
Thank you. That makes
Netflix,
sense.
you want to make these experiences really great for handheld devices. So Netflix, thank you.
I'm going to stop.
I brought it back to the topic.
Yeah, Netflix, let me make my choices on the shitter. Thank you.
fucking remove your goddamn autoplay.
Nobody wants that.
Yes, yeah.
No one
Everybody
wants
fucking
that.
hates it.
Nobody wants it.
Your shit.
Has anyone else figured out the cadence?
That
of
was a
like,
tweet,
Of
right?
like
Yeah.
you have this
In
weird
between the
mental
words.
thing
Okay.
where you press next and then you go back and
You just
forth
keep moving
at
between
the
different
right
things.
cadence so it
Oh
doesn't.
yeah.
play.
So it does an auto trailer.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So if
Yeah.
I go from like fucking
Fuck that shit.
Fuck you, Netflix, until you fix this shit.
Okay.
Royo's like go hard right now. Fuck that.
Yeah. As I drink my wine.
So just for the listeners at home, we might be drunk.
Yep. And we're gonna take a little break. Any last thoughts here? Because then I'm gonna cut us off. So.
Again, thank you, Alexandra, for being the voice of reason.
Thank you, Alexandra.
It's gonna be a long episode. Strap in.
Strap in, motherfuckers.
Strap in, strap on, whatever. Okay. Okay.
Get
We'll
that
be-
genital joust stuff.
Oh my god. I'll be back in a minute.
Maybe 10.
Yeah, baby. We need to rest.
Okay, panel. It's time for the lightning round, and here's how it works. We're going to take 2 quick topics and then give each member of the panel a minute to chime in pretty much uninterrupted if you can. You've had a lot to drink.
Impossible.
We'll see.
I don't know what you mean. At the end of each minute, Arroyo
Hi.
will award each panelist a quantity of some type of points based on nothing in particular. Scotland,
Yes.
you will be in charge of giving Arroyo some amount of something for his minutes.
Shit.
Yeah, that is a allowable form of currency in this exchange.
Okay. Okay, so after another questionable game got posted to Steam and its subsequent removal, a general policy change came down from the powers that be at Valve. The new policy, in a nutshell, is as follows, quote, "We've decided that the right approach is to allow everything onto the Steam store, except for things that we decided are illegal or straight up trolling," end quote. Inflection my own. Which feels like a great shirking of responsibility, or they aren't responsible at all and we're foisting a mantle on them they shouldn't have in the first place. I don't know, everyone has a minute to tell me how you feel about this statement and, their desire to just not take responsibility for what's on their platform. So, yeah, Nick, you want to kick us off?
Hey, yeah,
Hey,
I
how's it
do.
going? Okay, I bet you look you look like it.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay.
What's the question?
How do you feel about Steam being like, whatever, we're not going to moderate what's posted on Steam?
God, it's not great for me to go first because I gotta say, I don't understand why people are surprised by this. Honestly, like,
This is a Nick response.
did anybody honestly think Steam cared about anything else besides making money from Steam?
Points.
Or Valve, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Valve has never gave a shit about anything except making money on Steam. I understand that there are Valve fanboys who love Half-Life and are looking for Half-Life 3, but Valve doesn't give a fucking shit. Like, all they care about is how are we going to make money. And people come out and people are upset that Valve is like, we don't care about any of the Steam shit. You guys can figure out your own shit, and we're just gonna put games on Steam for you guys to buy. You guys can curate your own shit. We don't give a shit. But
So many shits.
I don't.
Hashtag true feelings.
Okay.
I guess I've never understood.
Real talk.
I've never understood these articles that are like, oh, now Valve doesn't care. Oh, now Valve doesn't care. Valve is showing us that they don't care with this thing. Oh, Valve doesn't care because they did this. Valve doesn't care of this. Valve has never cared.
Hashtag
And
slow
This
news
is coming.
day.
This is coming from Steam, from a PC gamer who has been there since the beginning of Steam. I remember when I first installed Steam, and I remember it being bullshit at that time. I remember, why is this happening? What is going on? And who is this company that I don't give a shit about their games, and why do they think that they can just sell me games and make money off of it? Valve does not care. They have never cared.
Because they can?
Yes, because they can. I don't care. I will still use Steam to buy my games because they give me all the games. They give me access to all the games I can buy, but why is anybody surprised that they don't want to make money? Like, it's...
Valve is never going to love you, Stacy.
Valve has...
Stop asking.
You're both very pretty. Move on.
Valve has never cared, Connor. Valve does not care about Source Engine. They do not care about Dota.
We appreciate
they do not care about
your
anything.
patronage, Connor.
They only want your money.
Whoa,
And
okay.
they have it.
That was not a minute. That was many minutes.
That was many minutes. Oh, Nick,
Joe
I was
Arroyo.
going to award you points, but the thing is, you shouldn't be surprised that I don't care about the points that I give you. That I have no intention of giving you points. I never cared ever on this show at any given point. I don't care about you or the stupid fucking points that I issue.
Hashtag real talk.
Okay,
That felt
Scott.
good. I feel it's like post-orgasmic at this point. I
Honestly-
feel good right after that.
Honestly, I'm annoyed at...
I need a cigarette. Good Lord.
Honestly, I'm annoyed at the number
Here,
of articles that come out about how Valve is letting us down because they've never held any expectation up that
when
they
have they
should
not?
owe us anything.
Okay.
all right.
I'm looking forward to my minute.
All right. Here,
Scotland,
I don't even need a fucking minute. All right. Okay. You could start that timer, but by the time you click, it's gonna be over. So haters, sashay the fuck away, because my cares for this are so fucking little. Goodbye.
Wow, that was like 16 seconds.
That was
a
like
hot
that,
take. A
That
hot
was like
take
that
is what we
Hello
call
Beatles
that.
song.
That shit is sizzling like a cast iron oven right there.
I'd like to award you one Auf Wiedersehen.
I accept your Alvida Zane. And
Say Dankeschön.
Dankeschön.
There
you go.
Yeah.
I've raised you.
Yeah, sashay away, okay? Thank you.
I'm really going to say, obviously, Nick, like, why we shouldn't be surprised. But, what
Hashtag real talk.
my first thought when I saw this was, well, of course you're not going to bother to moderate this because that would require hiring people with soft skills who understand people. So you'd have to start hiring, I don't know, women for like...
Oh, shit.
Here it comes.
It's our last
Bring it.
episode. I'm not gonna. No, and they just acquired Campo Santo, which there's some awesome women who work there, and so from what I can tell, they're having a good time. Like things are going well so far. Great. So maybe they're changing, but this announcement was very disappointing for me simply because I thought I had seen some progress, and yeah, it's clear. It's like an obvious opportunity to hire like. Obviously, not all women are community managers or whatever, but like it's a place. Community managers are often women, and so that would be a chance for them to like diversify a little bit and like show that they understand people, and they're just skipping it. They're opting out of it. So it is. I shouldn't waste my disappointment on.
I'll say fuck
Right?
them.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't necessarily mean that you mean that, but I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess in a way.
Yeah.
Like, I still enjoy that they give me lots of games, I guess, or access to games.
Yeah.
In the spirit of the show and the many lightning rounds that I have issued points for, and how I think they've gone most of the time, I would like to offer you a big heaping pile of disappointment.
Thanks.
I mean,
It's what I do best.
there's still one more topic left,
It's
so we
kinda-
can recover from this.
It's kind of
So-
muddled by expectations.
Well, as a woman in tech, I've got a whole, apartment full of it. So thank you.
I hope you feel better, Roy.
I feel terrible. I feel fucking awful.
No, I love you. It's okay. Erskine, let's go.
I don't want to be devil's advocate, and I'm going to try not to be. But here's
Like
how
hell.
this goes. Does Valve have responsibility for everything that they publish? The answer is yes, because if you are a platform,
False.
I mean, I'm going to let you finish.
You have 40 seconds. Let's go.
if
I
you
agree
have
with you.
if you have a platform, then you have to take responsibility for it. That's all there is to it. You don't have to agree with everything that comes across the table. I agree with the fact that if it's illegal or trolling, then yeah, fucking put the red stamp on it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, Don't ever allow a fucking school shooter simulator to come across your fucking platform.
Yes. Oh my god.
You don't have to do those things. You don't have to things like things we've talked about on this show previously. Not to do a callback. Yeah, I'm gonna go long. Sorry, Joe, but
Spent longer.
things like fucking what was that dumbass fucking Danzig / shooter game called that we
Hatred.
talked
Hatred.
That kind of shit was the impetus for this topic that has come up again and again
Also
on this
available
show
on Steam.
over years. We talked about that fucking thing in that hot ass master bedroom of the house you lived on Westlake Sammamish. We talked about this topic then, and here we are again. And it's fucking disgusting to me that
It's okay. It's
The
okay.
end. The end.
Deep breaths.
No, the synapse just didn't fire. I'm sorry. Mostly that we kind of are reactionary to trolls, and we feed those trolls, and that sucks because they are getting what they want out of that. But honestly, I do believe that Valve has a responsibility. I believe the GOG, I believe the Reman Gaming has a responsibility. If you have a platform, then you have a responsibility to stand up and say, you know what, there are certain things that we are not going to allow on this. Just because people fucking, pull themselves up by their fucking bootstraps to make a game doesn't make it a game worth selling.
Yes.
I love the lightning round when
I
we're
wish-
an hour plus into the show.
I wish I had more
I
to
just want to
say.
say, yeah.
Just because.
No, you don't. And just cause, shut the fuck up. So,
Thanks for looking at the other side.
I would like to
I
award
was-
you 666 Valve loot box coins.
Hail Satan.
Do they come in a blockchain?
Yeah, they do. Well, they can't be blockchain.
At least they're verified.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't put out fucking school shooting simulators.
I mean,
God's sake.
the short and sweet end of that is
Or
that,
like weird sex doll games.
We need
Features,
the reading
like-
rainbow, the more you know, kind of like rainbow that comes across. Like you've learned shit.
Honestly,
Take a look.
I feel
In a book.
It's reading
Take a look. It's probably on Steam.
and it's super offensive.
Not endorsed
They
by
don't
LeVar
care.
I don't
it's
think-
fine.
I don't think I need to go.
Or, do
I
you
think-
have any thoughts?
Can I
though?
take his? Can I take?
No, you can't.
Have a minute,
talking,
goddammit.
dude. You,
But
you
I
had
want-
more than a minute. It's
I
done.
want
Sashay
everybody to remember this moment
away.
when Nick
Yes.
was like, "I want to
Spray
talk."
it, sashay
Like,
it,
that's
walk
rare.
away.
it is.
I just
Yes.
want to say that I honestly think that Valve made the right decision on their part in a way, like that they.
Okay.
I think it's valid to argue
I
for
think-
it. I'm not sure I agree.
No, yeah, good for you. Stop talking.
Arroyo, take us home with this one.
Okay. For my minute, I'd like to say Valve should just probably tighten their valve and knock it off.
Pucker up.
The end. 10 seconds.
Okay. All right. So your award.
balloon sound.
No, you get that, but you also get a lifetime subscription to all the DLC that comes with Dream Daddy. Because it's a steamy game that'll keep you warm at nights when you're cold.
Well, daddies are hot.
With the longing
They're
loss.
hot daddies.
But it'll keep you
Steamy.
warm with the longing loss of this podcast.
Oh,
I'm just bringing it home. I'm bringing it home.
that's a great gift.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I want
actually.
that gift.
Yeah.
Sad again.
But it comes with a penalty. You have to stream all of your experiences.
Oh God, on which site?
Whatever, it's fine.
Chat roulette.
All right.
Topic to be, baby.
Yeah.
Let's try to end this son of a gun on a high note, shall we? And it's not going to seem like a high note at first, but I promise you, if we all dig in a little bit, it can be. After the actress who played Rose in The Last Jedi deleted her Instagram and basically abandoned social media due to mountains of asshole comments, trolling, and abuse, creatives are finally reacting. Ryan Johnson has said his piece. John Boyega has chimed in.
Yep.
while we've discussed vocal minority troll collectives in the past on this podcast, it's nice to have the people responsible for these works standing up for themselves and their co-workers, most of all, just to let these man babies have it. Some say don't feed the trolls. I say tell the trolls to fuck right the hell off. And honestly, if there's any way we can end this show, being about games and pop culture and everything else, this is the message I want to send out. This may be a personal agenda, and I'm hoping you all get on board because, frankly, I love Star Wars. I don't give a shit that Kelly Tran had a character that people don't like. I love the fact that she was in that movie. I love the fact that John Boyega is on that movie. I love the fact that this becomes a thing for everyone. And as soon as people start turning around and telling it it's not for them, it's just for me being a white suburban boy with my white suburban boy friends to, probably be
I would tell
homo on the side or whatever.
Sounds like he's taking his minute.
I am taking my fucking minute.
How about you launching your minute? Yeah, let's go.
Wait,
Go ahead.
Keep going.
And then you get your minute.
The idea of this minute is to give the best fuck off speech to these mongrels for the last minute you'll ever have on this show.
Then why don't you take it?
So I'm taking it right now.
You ready?
Fuck these motherfuckers because honestly, I don't have to love Star Wars the same way I love the originals or even the prequels. We won't talk about that. But I will say this. If you are going to sit there and think you own anything that is created by somebody else, you're fucking wrong. You are entitled to an opinion, and yes, you have a bunch of outlets to share that opinion, but it doesn't make it valid at all. Ever. You can speak all the shit you want, and that's all it is shit. Everybody that works on Star Wars or Battlefield 5 or anything else that has a woman or a gay person, a trans person, a person of non-white color, everybody that feels marginalized that gets representation deserves it. And everybody else that feels fucking offended by that, then go fuck yourself. Because honestly, all of this is better with all of that.
Yes.
I don't know how to tell you or anyone else any better, but if there's one thing you walk away from Cheat Codes Podcast with, is that we all deserve this, and we all deserve to be represented in the things that we love. And as soon as you start having opinions of ownership, check yourself. Because those people that created that shit, those people that put the work in, are going to turn around and tell you to fuck right the hell off.
Mm-hmm. They did in '83.
And I love it. Finally, everybody else that is cluing in. I really wish that fucking George Lucas had started this trend because it would even validate Star Wars even more. Mm-hmm. Where he would turn around and be like, you know what? You can all go fuck yourselves. I don't give a fuck what you think. The prequels are for my daughters, and that's all that matters. Good for you. Good for you. Anybody else that's like, Battlefield 5's fucked up because this female in the war has a prosthetic arm and it doesn't make sense. I don't understand. Fuck right the hell off. Honestly. And it's so relieving in a great way to literally EA is turning around being like, if you don't like it, don't fucking play the game. That's it. John Boyega, Mark Hamill, on behalf of the Star Wars franchise, are just turning around like, we don't give a shit how you feel. And finally, it's happening. Like this is a direct result of social media and everything else. Where finally we're not going to allow this social minority to fucking dominate the conversation. And finally, the creators are turning around and having a voice about it, and that's huge. And
It was a long minute.
That was good though.
Yeah, it was a few minutes. I just want to.
All right.
I was kidding.
Like it.
You're allowed to do that.
I'm glad we're friends. Really, no, just seriously. I'm sitting here and trying not to have a little tear because that makes me really happy.
I think that also, but I also try to think I shouldn't say something to make just some kind of joke out of it because that's
I'm about to do it.
You should.
Okay. It's all good, everyone.
Make the joke.
Erskine, for your long minute. Your final minutes.
In your minute, long, far away from here, galaxy.
I would like to present you a pedantic, pontificating, pretentious bastard, a belligerent old fart, a worthless, steaming pile of cow dung. figuratively speaking.
A veracity of vivacity
that one too.
and V for Vendetta. That was the exact quote from the movie.
Look it up. Thanks.
That was from Liar Liar. In case anyone wanted to know.
Mine wasn't from Liar Liar.
Mine was. Who's up?
Please save me. Save me. from
Who's
this.
next?
You don't need saving because everything that you said is true, and I'm taking
Scotland,
my fucking
you.
minute right
Yeah.
the fuck
Yeah.
now.
All right.
Because it's probably going to be more than a minute, and I couldn't agree more with everything that you just said. Everyone that fucking feels like they have this hateful fucking opinion can just eat a bag of fucking dicks.
A big
it turns
one.
out,
A
it
big
turns
bag
out
of dicks.
there's a few games you can get on Steam apparently that will help you achieve this fucking goal of yours to feel like such a piece of shit. Because right now, in the society that we live in, we have these choices. We have these choices to pick whether we want to be a hateful piece of shit or someone who's creative and opinionated. I'm not saying that you can't have an opinion of dissent or like a hate, like I don't like this thing or I don't appreciate this thing. You're allowed to have that opinion of saying that. You're allowed to have that fucking feeling. There's lots of things that I don't like, but it doesn't require me to degrade myself down to the level of tearing someone apart to make myself fucking feel better.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
Go fuck yourself 1,000 times over.
That's a good fuck you minute right there. That's a good fuck you minute right there.
If you feel that preaching your little choir on Reddit or preaching your little choir on some fucking post that someone wrote to tell your opinion, that it will make the world of difference because you're always goddamn right, because you got what you wanted, because you were told that you did a good job, you got a gold fucking star and a little ribbon that said you were right, you can go fuck yourself. I'm tired of it. There's no place for this.
Yes.
There's place for dissent, there's place for conversation, and there's place for disagreement.
Constructive
But there's no
criticism. Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
place for hate.
That's right.
Stop. Because no one's fucking listening. Because at the end of the day, when you go home and you have nothing else to say to anyone else, you will have no one with you. And the only friend you will have is that hate. Go fuck yourself.
Can we
Go
do
fuck yourself
cheers to
1,000
that? That was,
times
super
over.
good.
Yeah, that's
trying
I'm
to say
done
that.
with my minute.
that's worth the cheers.
Woo!
There's a song that has those lyrics in it. Go fuck
Fuck
yourself.
you.
Oh, I don't have anything to.
Just grab the bottle and cowboy.
grab the bottle.
Grab the bottle and cowboy, you son of a bitch. Come on.
Bottle.
You have to drink that though now.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yes.
Yeah, we're all
Bad luck, no.
bottoms up. Right, Joe?
episode, dude.
Okay, so points for
So
Scotland.
my points. I'm doing all my points in quotes if I can figure
Perfect. Yeah.
it out. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face.
Happily.
I don't know what kind of Pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia Jack is my territory, so whatever you're thinking, you'd better think again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to head down there, and I will rain down an ungodly fucking firestorm upon you. You're going to have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I'm talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will fuck you up.
I love you.
That was kind of angry.
Oh, it was just, I was just
I don't-
giving
what do
points.
You were just feeling
No,
the
I get it.
passion.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the most emotional I've ever seen Joe Royo right now. And
Yeah, it felt real. It felt
it
raw.
felt real.
Yeah.
That's
Just like the kiss.
I lost myself in that minute there. I'm so
the
sorry.
animation was on point. Is all I'm saying.
It was a great minute.
Nick, are you?
Nick started it. He's done.
Did you? Are you done? Who still needs
I
to?
didn't start this.
Roy
one.
didn't
I
this one.
started the last topic.
Yeah,
What's
Nick.
the question?
Give your fuck you speech to people who troll creators, I guess.
Yeah. Like,
Oh.
let people know that it's not okay to think they own shit they don't own.
Well, let's get some of that whiskey
All
before you
right,
do.
so devil's advocate.
Okay.
Perf. Go
This is
ahead.
actually appropriate for
I
Nick
appreciate it.
Yeah.
One of the great examples of the fan base owning the IP that a company gave out, in a way, is Overwatch. In a way,
True.
the company gave out a bunch of characters, a bunch of people that people could get behind and enjoy and make the characters their own. There were relationships between the characters that were formed based on how they played with each other and how they and how they talk to each other just in the game, like just random voice lines to each other, like, hey, you know, I got you so and so, your name or something. And it was a
commentary on how the fandom interacted with the IP. Perhaps.
Yeah, no, it was something. It was something cool. Like it was a fun little thing where the fan base almost like took the characters from the creators, made it something cool, created a fan base around that whole thing, and had a lot of fun with it in like a respectful way, like in a way that everybody could enjoy, one that wasn't derogatory towards other people. I mean, there may be
inclusive, if anything. Yeah,
it was inclusive, and one of the things about Overwatch is it features from characters from everybody, everywhere in the world. Like it was, you have Americans, you have British people, you have Asian. Yeah. People from all over Asia. You have people from Australia. Africa. You have people from Africa.
Disabled people.
You have all these people, and the community ate that shit up. Like,
yeah, we're hungry. People are hungry.
People are hungry for that, and for some reason, we only hear about the negatives in a way. We hear about the people who care about that there was an Asian in Star Wars, that Star Wars was about white supremacy, that there were people who are upset that Black Panther got made because it doesn't make sense for there to be some kind of Afrofuturism world when you go back and think about it, and it doesn't make sense for there to be anything in the fucking Marvel universe. And it's still there. And we listen to those stories. We enjoy them. So why can't other people enjoy it from other cultures? And it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, why can't we just enjoy and consume media together? We all fucking love food. That's the only thing that I can think of that everybody in the world enjoys. We love food. We can share.
To differ. I love pills.
we all have some shared commonality in the fact that we're fucking human. Mm-hmm. And why can't that be in our enjoyment of media and of culture, of exploring other people's cultures in a way? Like, it's not scary to see these strange things on the screen. It's kind of exhilarating and fun in a way. Like, you know, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like, I want to know more about it.
Please inform me, not be like, fuck this, I want to burn it down.
Shut the fuck up, it's my minute.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that was minutes ago.
Yeah. But
all right.
I guess it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why are people upset? Why are we listening to these vocal minorities? I think I said this in a previous episode. It's 5 of you guys that are out there that are saying these things. And I think people are starting to realize that it's 5 of you guys out there saying these things, and we don't give a fucking shit. Like, just calm down. Let's enjoy some fucking Star Wars. You know, midi-chlorians don't make any fucking sense. But
and we cast that shit off.
That shit off. Why does anything else?
Fantasy,
I mean,
it's fine.
Star Wars is about like just fighting the man. Like that's what Star Wars is been about. And you know, it sounds like a lot of the whole rhetoric that has been popularized in this day and age is about fighting the man in a way. Isn't that what Star Wars is? And Star Wars is trying to include everybody in that. Everybody wants to fight the man, and that's what Star Wars is trying to say. The man.
The man. And
the man.
For Nick, for your points, and I must say, and I am reminded on this holy day of the sad story of Kitty Genovese.
Oh,
as you all may remember, a long time ago, almost 30 years ago, this poor soul cried out for help time and time again, but no person answered her calls. Though many saw, no one so much as called the police. They all just watched as Kitty was being stabbed to death in broad daylight. They watched as her assailant walked away. Now, we must all fear evil men, but there is another kind of evil which we must fear most, and that is the indifference of good men.
Well, that's a fucking, you know, Einstein said, and Einstein apparently is a racist now since the most recent thing, but evil triumphs when good men refuse to do anything about it or something, in a way. That's what I got from that quote.
And listeners, you should know through all of that, Nick has been casually sucking on what appears to be a cherry, strawberry,
Well, it's the only thing in my hand that I had to suck
I put
on.
them right there. If anyone wants one.
Wait.
There's candy for
Oh,
everybody.
wait, I can have one
at this,
too?
At this cheat codes party.
Ooh.
Does anybody else
Googly
want
grape.
a final fuck you minute before we...
I think
Close this up.
it's just me? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so first, really nice. I've had friends tell me, like, they're really, like, Asian women tell me they're frustrated that the only representation they see of themselves, it's, like, fetishized, or they're, like, martial artists, right? So just speaking about Rose in general, like, holy shit, her character's great. Like, I don't even know what they're talking about. Anyway, obviously they're trash, so who cares? What I would like to see is use that energy to actually contribute to society. Like, think of all the hours that you waste, like, trolling on forums and, like, chasing down these people who've worked really fucking hard to make a thing for you. And just, like, interact with other humans so you learn about them and yourself and, like, learn what empathy is. Just, like, make things for yourself, even, for fuck's sake. You know, I don't like superhero movies particularly, so hey, go ahead and harass superhero movie makers as much as I do, which is none. Like, I've added Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson 0 times to tell them how much I hate them, because why would I do that? Why would anyone do that? Like, make things so you know what kind of sweat and tears go into making a thing. Instead, if you really want to, like, interact with creators who you think are great, tell them that you love their stuff. Like, we never tire of hearing that we're doing things right. And people seriously don't say it often enough. Keep your negative hot take to yourself. Go outside, live life, grow up. That's it. That's my minute.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are you going to give her?
I don't know.
I would give her...
Googly grape.
I think we're all winners at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're all winners at this point. It's the
I didn't realize
best
we were
minute we
competing.
could expect after 167 episodes of semi-good commentary, but not.
It was a solid
What
round.
I would like to say mostly is that we don't necessarily have the right, and we've done this on the show before, is judge people based on their creation. We get a feeling, we get a sense that we think that is valid, but it's not. What we need to do is either engage or disconnect, because as soon as you have an opinion, it doesn't make it valid. What you have is a feeling, and the best thing you can do is either engage or disconnect. And not to be too trite, but I feel like that's what we try to do with this show, and that is at least identify things that are interesting with gaming, with movies, with pop culture, tech, whatever, and at least, I don't know, a layer of entertainment, and at the very least a layer of decent monologue.
Trying to understand, right?
Yeah, at the very least appreciate, right? Because I think all those things come down to one basic fact, and that is a creative medium, and it's a scary fucking endeavor. You gotta take a leap of faith to ultimately just put something out there, and yeah, people may not like it,
but that's part of the adventure.
Yeah.
That's part of the feedback loop. It doesn't. You don't have to like the thing. You just need to not hate people for creating the thing.
you need to not be an asshole about the thing you don't necessarily enjoy.
Yes.
Yeah. I would agree with all of that. I gotta be honest with you.
Do you, though?
We're getting deep thoughts now.
Arroyo just handed
My
me his
points?
phone, and I'm just gonna say the thing that he just handed to
Do
me.
it. You'll figure it out in a second.
You think I know the first thing about how hard your life has been, how you feel, who you are, because I read Oliver Twist? Does that encapsulate you? Personally, I don't give a shit about any of that.
Oh, you fucked it up. Okay,
I didn't fuck it up.
Keep on.
You're an Android. I don't give a shit about all that because you know what? I can't learn anything from you. I can't read in some fucking book unless you want to talk about you, who you are. Maybe then I'm fascinated. I'm in. But you don't want to do what you do. You sport. What the fuck is this? What is happening?
He's not taking his minute. He's using his minute to torture you.
He tried.
apparently.
He tried to give you the whole,
Goodwill Hunting.
Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah.
Robin Williams.
But you don't
thing.
know how to use an Android phone.
I'm an Apple guy.
Oh.
Let me see if I can
Android,
bring it up
Open
level.
Siri.
And this is your gift before you even speak. I want to kind of phrase something from the late and great Anthony Bourdain, a personal hero,
AB.
yeah.
AB.
and someone who deeply impacted me. I met that man once, and that's all I needed.
Oh my god.
That's all I needed. The guy is amazing. But I want to read something that he said, and I think it's very variable to this topic. And he says, "Do we really want to travel in hermetically sealed Pope-mobiles through rural provinces of France, Mexico, and the Far East, only eating in Hard Rock cafes or McDonald's? Or do we want to eat without fear, tearing into the local stew, the humble taqueria's mystery meat, the sincerely offered gift of a lightly grilled fish head? I know I want it all. I want to try everything once." And I think that says a lot about what we need to be. We need to be more open to that. And that's my gift to you before you even say anything. I just want you to have that inside of you and to think that and to feel that.
I don't want to.
Fucking episode.
I don't want to be presumptuous at all, but I really want to hope that this podcast gave some of that, like where we all get to have fucking our own thoughts openly and freely about things that we give a shit about. Mm-hmm. And thank you.
It's all right.
He's good. You're gonna be okay, Jeff.
Did we do it?
You're gonna be all right.
We did it.
This is 5 years of my life right here. We have done it. Episode 167.
Let's start over. Let's
Redo.
Yeah, redo. It means I'll get to hang out with you
Hey, how
longer,
much-
so it's fine with me.
This is it. Like literally, it's it. Like this is the last Cheat Codes podcast.
How much
episode
older
ever.
is this podcast than your son?
A
Your first
year
one.
and a half.
Aw.
Think about it.
I did a year and a half.
See you next week.
Well, thank you so much for going on this adventure with us, whether you joined from the beginning or recently or whenever. Anywhere in between, that's all those 167 hours. Plus.
For sure.
Plus.
There's more than 167. That's the hard part. Be like, yeah, we can say with certainty 167 hours, but there's like an extra 5 to 10 hours of E3
drinking
bullshit or whatever out
at
there.
least.
You know,
Yeah.
it's been a hell of a ride. We will leave the content up and available for a bit, but I think it's going to have to come down at some point. We just get it while you can, for Christ's sake. Always free. We're not going to charge anybody for anything. If you're on the Patreon, we're going to shut that down soon. And that's not like a hard asshole move,
to
but
everybody who has contributed so far. It's fucking amazing.
1,000% to that. And I would like to say that if you are in the Seattle/Redmond area in the coming months, we would love to do kind of a
Thank you.
bar tab sort of thing.
Yep.
Or if you are in a certain tier of the Patreon level, you should probably expect some sort of
We'll reach out to you.
We'll
gift in the
talk to
future.
you.
So we were talking outside, and if you all are up for it, we'll talk about it later. We should do a live show, and just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
I have some hookups. We can get that all sorted. And we
sounds
could just
great.
do a live show and just donate it all to charity or whatever.
Dude, that
happens.
would be
Love it.
There is
Absolutely love
note. There's a board game cafe up where I'm moving called the Rook and Rogue. You could do a little
In
show.
Bellingham?
there. Yeah.
Do you want
cute.
to mention that? You're taking off to
Oh yeah, the
start an adventure in Bellingham.
the
yeah.
fiance and I are moving up north,
Looking great.
going up north.
It's a great town.
That's
Love it.
magnificent.
Bellingham is
It's
shit.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we started moving stuff into our new place yesterday, and it's like, hi, we
Wow.
can see the ocean from our place. This is magic.
From the bottom of my heart, I really wish you the best of luck in everything
yay.
out
Thanks,
there.
folks.
And I will, be bothering you for opportunities to say hi when we come up to Bellingham.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
please. Anytime y'all are up there, let me know. I'd love to hang out.
Well,
I'm sailing a boat
careful
up
what
there
you
next
wish
week.
for.
No, I'm
You are.
still.
I am. I'm actually sailing a boat up there.
To
next
everyone
week.
at this
Great.
table, that's open with no limitations. So just let me know.
and that's what doing a podcast gets you. Everybody. Just
No
saying.
limitations.
No limitation. Limitless.
No reservations.
For the
No reservations.
distinguishable legal record,
No
we will be shutting down the Patreon for the record within the next 24 to 48 hours. So stop giving us money.
Don't give us money anymore.
Stop
You
giving
won't
us
be
money.
able to anymore.
Yeah,
Nice try.
we would prefer that you use that money to go start your own podcast or
yes.
or your own game or
Charity.
something that you
Yes.
can do with your friends to have a good time and talk shit and just wax poetic about all the things you're interested in, because that's what this podcast was all about. You might meet some cool people and do some cool
Never
shit
know.
and have some.
Wait. Who's host A?
Let's you.
Well, okay, I'll take that first.
Cool.
So we're thinking about doing a little get together in the coming months, a little shindig of sorts to celebrate the show, and all people help make it happen. So details will come out on that soon.
Yeah, whether it's a follow-up episode or something, it would be nice to spend some of that Patreon money to buy you all drinks for giving us money.
For giving us money. That's a weird roundabout way.
Yeah, but for now, to keep it.
For now.
Don't be a programmer. God damn it.
Isn't it Fresno?
It's Fresno.
It's Fresno.
Shut up. We're all Judd Nelson as John Bender, throwing up a fist of fucking triumph and closure.
But we're doing it.
We're doing it.
All our fists are up, even Nick.
Yes.
An empty high school football field.
The slow fist.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cheat Codes ends. Hope remains. Freeze frame.
Freeze frame.
Thanks for everything, everybody. We
Yeah,
love you.
thank you,
Thank you.
so much.
Don't you
Forget about cheese.
Codes. Don't you
Da-da-da-da.
forget about cheese.
I like those.
Codes. Don't you forget about cheese.
Get it.
I'm legit crying and it's okay.
Get it.
Thank you so much.
Hey, it says Ed.